Hi guys, welcome back to Kitchen Court Cases. I'm in a new kitchen. Welcome back to I gotta turn that off. So close. I hope you guys are excited. Happy Easter to everybody. I hope you're all having a wonderful weekend. I am excited to be here with you. I have our regular detention docket. I know it's look at the little KitchenAid back over there. Anyways, so I know the case Friday was too long. I was overambitious. This is not going to be like I'll be awake the whole time, I promise. Anyways, Mr. Wilbur was crazy, wasn't he? We're talking about the case last week, guys, or at the end of last week. We were up all night, which I'm not even going to guarantee won't happen very often. It probably will. Hi, Carrie. Hi, everybody. Um, okay, so I know it's a different kitchen. Don't worry though. The vibe is still the same. I'm still in the kitchen. I even brought my red thing. So let's get started. If anybody's new here, welcome. We are going to watch some detention docket court, which is from early 2020, actually late 2020 now, where we are in the series. And we vote on whether we think the kids are going to be detained or released, and I'll flash that up there. And yeah, I think we'll have a great evening. I'm cooking tonight. I'm going to be cooking some steak and mushrooms and something. Oh, potatoes. So I have to do all of that as well. Hi, Linny Lynn, McPigeon, Prissy. No worries about asking questions. I mean, it's a very different kitchen, but I think we can make it work. Breaking into random kitchens. I will not confirm nor deny if I broke into anybody's house to get this shot. Anyways, okay guys, let's get watching so I can get prepping and start making food and see what we got got from Judge Kim. Anyways, okay, let's do it.
I'm going to start with Benito Mendoza. Thank you, Sheriff, for bringing him here. All right, Mr. Mendoza, I guess your attorney is Mr. Adler. Is Mr. Adler here? Oh, there we are. All right, Mr. Mendoza, this is a 10-day detention hearing. You've been in custody for 10 days, so I need to review your case and make a decision whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you here, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days. You do have a right to remain silent, and you have a right to an attorney. Mr. Adler has been appointed as your attorney. All right, Mr. Mendoza, I'm familiar with your case. This is a case that started over a decade ago, and you were inadvertently released by TJJD. Oh, I'm sorry, by Mejia State School, and you did not return, which I understand why a person would not return. However, you also had been deported, left the country, illegally re-entered the country, and then were caught trying to leave the country again. So I'm concerned about whether you're going to appear in court or not. And so I'm going to go and detain you pending the outcome of your case. All right, Mr. Adler, do you need to explain this to your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Benito, ¿te recuerdas de lo que usted y yo hablamos de cuando te fue de Mejia? El juez tiene preocupaciones que se va a ir otra vez, así que en este momento te va a quedar ahí en la cárcel semana.
All right, Mr. Adler, you kind of broke up a bit. You want to ask him if he understood what you said?
Benito, ¿usted me oye?
Sí.
¿Entendiste lo que yo dije?
Sí.
He said, yes, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, no, not your fault. All right, thank you, Mr. Mendoza. All right, next we have Ian Beese.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Ms. Taylor. All right, Mr. Green, please turn on your camera.
I'm filling in for
Mr.
Officer.
Sierra, please turn on your camera. Mr. Sierra, please turn on your camera. All right. So it's Mr. Beast. Okay, hello, Mr. Beast. I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. Law says when a child's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days and have to decide whether to keep you or release you. Did I give you the full docket sheet? No, here it is. If I keep you here, then the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. I've appointed Ms. Taylor as your attorney pending the paperwork involved. Ms. Taylor, can you introduce yourself so he sees you pop up on the screen?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
All right. Good morning. All right. So, Mr. Beast, you're 15 years old. You've never been here before. Let's see. This morning, yesterday about 8 o'clock, the sheriff's office was dispatched for a missing persons report at Clear Fork Academy. It said 6 people ran from the facility. The deputies located individuals walking down the service road. 2 of them ran toward a salvage yard. 1 deputy drove around to the back, found Ian, you. Deputy turned on his lights to identify himself. He ran and jumped over a gate, but then later was detained. The other individual was detained at the scene. Placed in the back of a patrol car, transported back to the academy. On 2 occasions, the deputy had to pull over due to Ian lighting cigars in the back of the patrol car. When the deputy arrived at the academy, Jack refused to get out. The deputy had to grab Jack's arm and he began to resist. He also kicked the deputy in the shin, groin, and ribs, causing him pain. Both were then transported here to the juvenile detention facility. So you were being brought back to the academy. They were just going to drop you off so you can continue over there. However, you decided to light cigars in the back of his car, the patrol car. We don't have a parent here. All right. Well.
Your Honor, we do have a parent here.
Oh, we
Yes,
do?
I'm here, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Beast. Well, I'm inclined to believe that this type of behavior is typical of Ian, and you're probably not surprised by this. All I have to say is you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Ian, I'm going to go ahead and detain you. All right, Jose Farias.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, it broke up. Could you say that one more time?
Oh, I'm detaining him. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. If he's lighting cigars in the back of the patrol car, yeah, he should expect to be detained. All right, Jose Farias.
May I be excused, Judge?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Taylor.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Although I'm kind of surprised that the deputy didn't search him before putting him back in the car. Yeah.
No.
All right. So, Mr. Farias, this is out of custody detention hearing. All right, Mr. Farias, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You are here so I can decide whether to take you into custody or to keep you in the community. If I take you into custody, you get to see a judge every 10 days while you're here, for the judge to decide whether to keep you or to release you. If I keep you here, then the judge sees you every 10 days. Mr. Sierra, I'm going to go ahead and remove you. Come back whenever you can turn your video on. All right. So you have a right to an attorney, you have a right to remain silent. All right, Mr. Farias. So according to the police, on September 19th, about 10 o'clock, they were dispatched. Jose had been in an argument with his neighbors. And then later he observed one of his neighbors riding a bike that he said belonged to him. The victim reported that when he was on his way home, he was struck twice in the head with a closed fist by his neighbor, causing him to black out. He said that Jose took his property by removing his shoes. He confronted Jose on the porch. Police confronted Jose on the porch. He would not follow instructions to get off the porch. He said he would only speak to deputies from his porch. Jose admitted to striking the victim and taking his shoes. Then he resisted police by pulling away when they were detaining him. All right, 2 days later, you were presented to me for initial detention hearing. I order you to be released on a drug patch when you are on level 1 outstanding to submit to random UAs after your drug patch level 0. So we gave you a drug patch. All right, a week later on the 29th, your dad emailed the DA with screenshots of text messages from Jose saying he's going to fight the victim at school. So our staff had a meeting. They contact you to remind you you're not allowed to have contact with the victim. That means no text, phone, social media, nothing. He warned you that If you continue to contact the victim, you have to come here and talk to me. So, see, I guess on Friday you contacted the PO, and the alleged victim went to your house 2 days ago to report that somebody wants to kill you. According to you, you don't know who wants to kill you. However, it may be a gang member. You related that you have past gang activity. So we said, call the police. And then you said that since your release, you had contact with the victim twice in person and admitted to texting him and had no valid reason for doing so. So we got the drug pass results. You were negative. All right, so Dad, you're here? Or Mom? Mom, you're here?
No.
Does Mom speak English?
No.
She does not, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Aguirre, if you can interpret for me. So I want to ask Mom, how close, where do these neighbors live in relation to their house? How many houses away?
Judge Kim, is it okay if I interpret? Because Ms. Aguirre has asked me to help her out.
Sure,
Sorry.
not a problem.
Okay. What was the question? I'm sorry.
Oh, how far away do these neighbors live? Like how many houses away?
Señora, ¿cuántas casas vive los vecinos de ustedes?
Está una traila donde vivo yo, que es 6237.
Hable un poquito más duro, por favor.
Está una traila que es mi número 6237, la que sigue es 6235 y la de ellos que ese sí no es el número de su casa, pero está son dos, una casa antes de la mía.
Judge, I live in a trailer, so they don't live next door, but they live in the house next to my next door neighbor.
I mean, is the victim coming by to their home?
La víctima está viniendo a su casa.
Está parte del terreno donde yo estoy, que es la otra persona viene a donde yo vivo, que es el terreno donde él no debe de traspasar la propiedad y él traspasa la propiedad a donde él está.
Espera, oye la pregunta. ¿La víctima está yendo a su casa?
Sí.
Yes.
Does she know what the subject of the text messages or contacts to the victim are?
¿Usted ha visto los mensajes de texto con su hijo y víctima? ¿O víctimo?
Nomás que están en inglés y yo no les entiendo bien. Yo tengo una muchacha que tiene 17 años.
Espera, poco a poco.
Okay.
Judge, they're in English and I don't understand them well, but I have a 17-year-old. Okay, sigue.
Ok, me lo han estado acusando de que lo van a matar.
Señora, hazme un favor, cuando te haga la pregunta, nada más contesta la pregunta, ¿ok?
Ok.
All right. Sorry, Judge, I had to ask her to please just answer the question that you're asking.
All right, well, Jose, one of the rules that I have to consider, so on these detention hearings, right? I need to consider the safety of the public or you. I have to consider whether you would come back to court or not. And I have to also consider the protection of the victim, right? You had a very specific order that you're not to contact the victim, but yet you continue to do so. I'm glad your drug tests are negative, but that doesn't change the fact that you are not, the condition of your release was you not contact the victim, all right? There is a consequence to your decision, right? Your decision to contact the victim means I could go ahead and take you into custody at this point. We're gonna see how your behavior is at a 10-day hearing. Now you seem upset, but what are you upset about? Like when you reached out to the victim, you knew that you weren't supposed to. So good decisions come from experience. Experience comes from bad decisions.
He was contacting me and aggravating me, getting me to talk to him, which ended up with me talking to him. And I just got mad and told him, if you don't leave me alone, I'm gonna beat you over and go to school. But I didn't.
Was it worth it? All right. You have to remember things like this will come to when your case is done, when your case actually gets handled, like when you have your trial, I'll make a decision whether to send you to prison or to keep you on probation, right? If I don't think that the victim is safe, I'll send you to prison.
Yes,
Like
sir.
I don't think you understand how serious this is. When the court tells you you have to do something, it doesn't matter what you want to do, you have to do it, right? It's really, that's the way our system works. So at this point, we'll see you at the 10-day hearing. We'll make a decision whether to release you then or not based on your behavior here. I'm open to the idea of releasing you because the good thing is you didn't actually commit any violent acts. You didn't go show up at his door or anything like that. But I specifically told you were to have no contact with the victim. You decided that it was worth it, or there was an excuse, or it was reasonable to contact the victim when it wasn't. You just can't contact the victim. All right? All right. Thank you. And I'm assuming, Ms. Aguirre, we're going to go and give him a UA because he's going into custody now.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, so Rodrigo Hernandez.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Hernandez. Judge Kim, this is a detention hearing. You've been here for, let's see. Oh, so you've been here, but your attorney is requesting a detention hearing for you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Herrick. Yes. Okay, so before we start, you have a right to an attorney. Ms. Herrick is here as your attorney. You have a right to remain silent. If you say anything, nothing can be used against you at any other type of court setting. All right, Ms. Herrick, for what purpose did you ask for this hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. Rodrigo's mother is on the Zoom as well. I just saw her. Her name is Maria Alvarez. She is scheduled to have surgery on her neck or throat tomorrow for a cancer. Rodrigo is, other than her, he's the main caregiver for his younger brother. And with her, she's going to be out of commission a little bit after that surgery. Rodrigo's really concerned that he feels he needs to be there to take care of his brother and his mom after her surgery. He has been on level 1.0 for over 30 days, almost 40 days now. And so it is our request that he be released to be able to care for his family.
So who all lives in the house?
Ms. Alvarez, she speaks Spanish.
I can translate, that's not a problem. Señora Álvarez, por favor.
Sí.
¿Cuántos, bueno, quién y quién vive en su casa?
Tengo ahorita conmigo 3 de los muchachos.
Ajá. La edad, por favor.
A la muchacha de 18, el otro de 17 y el niño de 9.
Okay, so mom says she's got a daughter that's 18 years old, a son. ¿Cuántos años tiene su hijo?
9.
¿Y el otro?
17.
And then a 17-year-old son and a 9-year-old son as well.
So Rodrigo and I talked about his siblings. They both work all day, and they are not going to be able to care for his 9-year-old brother.
How long will mom be invalid for?
How long will she be what?
Incapacitated for?
That's a question I don't know the answer to.
Can you ask mom? Ms. Gonzalez?
No problem. ¿Por cuánto tiempo va a estar bajo bueno, cuánto tiempo va a tomar su cirugía, señora Álvarez?
La verdad que no sé qué tanto tiempo, el tiempo no me lo explicaron, nada más el proceso.
Okay. So mom says that they did not explain to her the time. They just explained to her that it was a biopsy that she's having done, and it's an outpatient procedure.
Scheduled for tomorrow?
Yes.
That's correct. Tomorrow, first thing in the morning. And I believe her daughter, the oldest, is going to be present with her as she needs to translate as well.
So all right. So what exactly does she need him to do if he was to come home?
Do you mean like chores?
Right. Really for Ms. Gonzalez, I need to know, like specifically why does he need to be there?
Perfect. Señor Álvarez, lo que quiere el juez saber es exactamente por qué necesita a su hijo en casa en este momento.
Claro que sí, pues porque lo necesito es porque yo prácticamente mis otros 2 hijos trabajan y no tienen descanso. Él es el que me ayuda con el niño para mis citas.
So she's saying that practically the other older children work and that Rodrigo is normally the one that helps her with the youngest to watch him.
What would prevent her from watching the youngest? I guess I'm trying to find the need. I understand it's more convenient to have Rodrigo there, but my question is, what's the need? I mean, at the end of the day, he's accused of shooting at people with a gun. So.
Señor Álvarez, el juez quiere saber por qué lo necesita, o sea, por qué, no solamente porque lo quiere en casa, obviamente, pero...
Sí, porque pues es como le digo, yo tengo muchas citas que tuve que cancelar porque por el proceso ahorita de todo lo que está pasando, lo de la pandemia no me lo dejan llevar a las clínicas. Estoy perdiendo yo muchas citas importantes porque él es el que se quedaba en casa con el niño más chiquito. Ahorita que tiene clases en línea, pues tampoco no me lo pueden dejar donde sea que estudie. Ese es el motivo que yo necesito a Rodrigo en casa porque estoy perdiendo muchas citas muy importantes.
So she's saying, Your Honor, she's saying that she has lost several appointments because she has not been able to find childcare. And she says that Rodrigo aids in that. When she's at an appointment, he normally supervises him.
All right, so my question for mom then is, if I release him, he'll be on electronic monitor. He cannot leave the house. Any violation, we'll issue a warrant for him. If he decides to run away, then I will issue a warrant for mom to sit in Tarrant County Jail until we can recover him. Is she willing to take that responsibility?
Señor Álvarez, el juez le está diciendo que si él decide de dejar que Rodrigo regrese a casa bajo términos que va a usar el monitor electrónico, va usted a traerlo a corte y bueno, también avisarnos si en caso que algo no vaya bien o si él no se porta bien en casa, nos va a poder decir. Y también obviamente el juez está diciendo que en caso que, bueno, su muchacho se vaya o algo, corte el monitor, que usted va a ser la responsable y él va a poder mandar una orden de arresto para que la arresten a usted. ¿Usted está disponible bajo esos términos, pedir que Rodrigo regrese a casa?
Definitivamente sí, aunque el juez no sugiriera una orden de arresto para mí, yo sería la primera en que él comete una falta o un delito y yo misma lo entrego.
Your Honor, she says absolutely she would take that risk.
Okay, I don't mind. So she understands she can have an appointment with a doctor or surgery or anything, but we're going to send deputies to her house or wherever she is and arrest her if Rodrigo does not, if he runs off. Okay, she wants that responsibility. I'll go and give it to her. Rodrigo, I'm going to release you on electronic monitor, but there's going to be very strict. You cannot leave the home. You're being released to be a babysitter, so you're not even going to school. All right, you're going to have to do the distance learning.
Yes, sir.
But you're not leaving the house.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Rodrigo.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Herrick.
Gracias.
There's a couple you have to think of the last. You and Ms. Keenan, both of you are killing me with the last names.
My name's the same. Hers is not.
You know, it took me, I think, 5 years for Don Newell to become Don Ferguson.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, thank you. All right, Decoria Montague.
Please there, Judge.
All right, Mr. Montague, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. Sir, can you please sit up? This isn't a couch. This isn't your mom's living room.
It's like how the computer is. They got the thing leaning back.
All right, Mr. Montague, this is a detention hearing. I'm here. You've been here for 10 days, and you decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, then you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You're 16 years old. All your business with this court started when you were 12 with an evading arrest. You turned 13 with an assault bodily injury. Next month, another assault case with an assault serious bodily injury. 3 months later, another assault. A month after that, you had an evading arrest. 5 months later, unauthorized use of motor vehicle. A couple cases dismissed. Eventually, when you were 15, you pick up, or 14, you pick up another stolen car case. So now we're here. Let's see. Back in January, you cut off your electronic monitor, and then while you're in patrol, police saw one of your associates hanging out at a convenience store. They pulled in the parking lot, saw you sitting inside a car. They recognized you, and they knew you had a homicide warrant. So detained all of you all at gunpoint, disobeyed commands, put your hands up, saw you passing something to somebody in the back seat, and you got out, found a gun in the car. So, see, this is from May of earlier this year. Somebody flagged down police. Oh, this is the one where you're accused of shooting somebody over $40 in weed. So, all right, well, yeah, at this point, Mr. Montague, you're on probation. You absconded from probation, and then you picked up a homicide case. So I'm not inclined to release you. Plus, you're level 2. You know, I'm not even going to start the conversation if you're not level 1. All right, so Mr. Montague, hope you get your behavior level up. You know, your attorney needs as much ammunition as possible to help you in your case. All right, if you want to go ahead and make it harder for your attorney, then go ahead and keep on losing points. But if you want to make your attorney's job easier to convince me that you deserve probation, or I don't know, who's the state on this? Who's the state? Ms. Richmond, are we looking at certification on this one?
Your Honor, I can answer that. It's actually Zane's case. He has gone to the grand jury for determinant and for certification. We are missing quite a bit of items, but we do have a status conference coming up on Monday on this, and I've already emailed Zane to see where we are in the process of getting, we're missing a ton of evidence.
Okay, well, Mr. Montague, I want to make sure your attorney has all, she will tell you I'm more than fair about that. I want to make sure your attorney has every resource available to help you. That's all I can do. You have to make sure your attorney has every resource available to help you as well. And if it's my decision whether to certify you as an adult for the adult system, then your behavior level, your actions in detention are factors that will be considered in my decision. So I encourage you and I recommend to you do the best you can while you're back there. All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Montague. Yes, ma'am.
So do the attorney supposed to communicate? Because we haven't heard from her since she became the Corian's attorney.
I have been communicating with my client.
Oh, so you don't, okay.
So, okay.
Like I said, there's a lot of things that are missing right now.
So, Mom, well, you have to understand, okay, my question is, you said we, I think you understand it. So this juvenile is a weird situation. Technically, your son is her client. So her duty and her loyalty is to your son. Now, I understand that your mom, and as parents, it's hard for us not to get involved in our kids' lives. There's very specific rules of ethics for attorneys that she can be prohibited from telling you things. And in some ways, the attorney-client relationship can be pierced by her relaying things to you, all right? So it's weird that you have the ability to hire another attorney while your son doesn't, to replace her, but whatever attorney that represents your son, their loyalty is to your son and not to you. Right? Okay. I know it's hard to understand as a parent. We're used to being parents, but it's just one of those legal rules. Okay, so if she's not communicating with you, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not necessarily a good thing. All right, it just means there's certain rules she may be kind of handcuffed by that she has no choice. Okay, so but I understand your frustration. That's not lost on me. But please understand, she could be in a pickle through no fault of your own or my own. Okay. All right, but that doesn't stop you from asking her questions. You can ask her questions, you can email her, you can call her, but I'm just saying she may not be able to answer it.
Okay.
Okay? All right, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Keenan Perkins. Here's part of the problem. The sheet says Keenan's and her screen says Perkins. On the what? For the auditor, okay. All right. All right, we have Jack Moore with Carmen Johnson. Mr. Moore, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a child's brought to a facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days, and I have to decide whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Jack, I'm familiar with your case because I just read the one about Ian. And Ms. Johnson's your attorney, and I will let you know right now, Ms. Johnson does not want you to say anything at all. Ms. Johnson, can you introduce yourself so you pop up on the screen?
Hi, Jack. How you doing?
All right. Do you see Ms. Johnson there? All right. So.
And you have a right to remain silent, so don't talk.
Yes. So she's telling you to use it. All right. So this is one ran away from the Clear Fork Academy by a salvage yard. Tarrant County Sheriff found y'all. See, Ian ran off. You came out of the salvage yard, yelled profanities, and flipped the officer off. Tried to hit the officer with his fist 2 times. You refused to get in the car, made your body stiff. They got you in the car. Ian started lighting cigars in the car, and then you said you would not exit the vehicle. When they tried to remove you, you began resisting by pulling away. Then you kicked the officer in the shin, the groin, and kicked him in the ribs. Officer felt pain. So you're looking at an assault of a peace officer. So, Jack, all they were trying to do is take you back to Clear Fork, and they were just going to drop you off because you're a runaway, and now you're looking at a felony, which you can go to TJJD for. You know what TJJD is? No, it's prison for kids, right? And this would be an indeterminate sentence. So if I sent you there, you would just stay there until they felt like you were no longer a danger to yourself or to the others or the community. And so that can be all the way up until your 19th birthday. All right, so are the parents here? Did they appear remotely?
Yes, sir. They're remotely there.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm here. I'm Jack's father.
Okay. All right, Mr. Moore. Well, let's see. All right, so this is my concern is if I just release him back to Clear Fork, that he's just going to run away again. All right, that's, at this point, have you given Ms. Turnhill the list of medications that he's on?
I believe Clear Fork is communicating that information to them.
Good.
I don't think they've gotten it to him yet. This is Jack's mom.
Okay. Are you all still together or are you separated?
We're together. We're just in different.
We're together.
You know I have to ask that question, right? So, okay. So Clear Fork's working on that. Do you know the last time you saw a mental health doctor? Did they tell you?
The last time he saw, I think, was last week.
Last week. Okay. So his prescription should be pretty current.
Judge, if I may, I read somewhere that the parents are also trying to establish maybe a more appropriate venue for Jack due to some other issues that are going on. I'd ask you to allow them to do that and have him placed in an environment that would benefit him.
Sure, I understand. So, Mom, Dad, I'm open to the idea. I don't necessarily think, especially if he has underlying mental health concerns, I don't think this is the most appropriate facility, but I think we can agree that Clear Fork's not an appropriate facility either if he's just going to run away and cause problems. All right, so, and this is, Ms. Turner, what neighborhood was this in, the salvage yard?
I believe it was off of Jacksboro Highway.
Okay.
I think there's some in my room.
All right. Okay, well, it's not like he was running around Las Vegas Trail, right? So, but I'm concerned, Mom, Dad, if I release him to Clear Fork or to you, he'll just run away again. If you have other options you want to pursue, I'm open to releasing him to the other facility. You'll probably need a lockdown facility, given what I've seen so far. But I don't necessarily want to keep him here. My concern is I just don't want him to run out again and get in more trouble. Okay? So think of this as kind of a purgatory, Jack. And then we can figure out now, if you do find a place in Travis County Travis County does have many options for juvenile offenders. They have a very impressive program, and this is the kind of thing that usually gets transferred between the counties since y'all are in Austin.
Yeah, we're actually on a strange area of Austin. We're still in Williamson County.
Okay. Okay. Well, I know the juvenile judge in Williamson County as well, and so typically in these cases, when a child actually lives in a different county, we want the resources that are closer to home rather than further away. Okay, so those are just options. Ms. Turner-Hill can, Ms. Turner-Hill can explain that to you. But meanwhile, if you are starting to look for a different placement for him, then I'm all ears. I'm open to releasing him to the other placement. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor, we're actively looking for other placement.
Jack, I hope you understand decisions have consequences. Good decisions come from experience. Experience comes from bad decisions, right? And there's no situation in life that's so bad that you can't make it worse. And all they were going to do is drop you off back at Clear Fork, but you made it worse. So Jack, I'm detaining you. If you're here for 10 days, we'll see you in 10 days. Thank you. All right, Cameron Newton. All right, Mr. Newton, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day detention hearing. And you've been here for 10 days. Actually, you've been here for 130 days. And so I'm reviewing your case, deciding whether to release you or to keep you here. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days. All right, so you've had problems since, you were 12 years old. Burglary vehicle, robbery, aggravated robbery, unauthorized use of motor vehicle, theft of stolen car. Now we're here. Let's see, robbery call. Oh yeah, home invasion robbery, AR-15, gunshots fired, and you were level 3 confined. So, Mr. Newton, I would need to let you know that you turned 17 on November 29th. And so when you're 17 years old, I have the option of keeping you here or transfer you downtown to county lockup. And so your behavior level is really what determines that. If you're a good example for the other kids in our detention facility, I will keep you here. It's kind of a privilege that you earn. You're paying rent by setting a good example and being a leader. However, if you're causing problems and your behavior level is low, then I just send you to county lockup, right, downtown. And you can take care of your case then. I'm not happy for the level 3 confined. Ms. Smiley, can you tell us why he's 3 confined? Is it self-seclusion or did he do something?
No, Your Honor. He was actually secluded for initiating an attack on another resident past Sunday.
Okay. Is this one, do you know, are they looking for certification on this or just determined sentence? I mean, it is determined sentence, but.
Yes, Your Honor. They've only filed a determined sentence petition.
Okay.
We're waiting on a placement search. They're in the process of doing that placement search, Your Honor.
How long have we been looking for a placement?
He has been looking for a placement search. Let's see. I stabbed him on October the 7th. So since about the 8th or the 9th of this month.
Ms. Keenan, I'm gonna put you on the spot, but if he's level 3 confined, why are we even trying with placement?
To give him a shot at trying to do that and not send him just to TJJD.
But I mean, he's level 3 confined. I mean, he's the absolute worst level in our facility. Eventually, we keep on sending kids like this to these placements. The placements are going to stop taking our kids. Well, I mean, over the search, we'll let it go through. But Cameron, I hope you understand this conversation I'm having with your attorney is that it's not that you deserve placement. You have to convince me, your attorney has to convince me that placement's appropriate. If you're behaving like this back here, man, it's going to be harder for her to explain to me why placement's a viable alternative for you and why I shouldn't send you to TJJD. Right? I mean, the number one rule to life when you dug yourself into a hole, stop digging. Just quit digging. All right, Mr. Newton, so I'm going to detain you. We'll see you in 10 days. All right, Hugo Reyes. All right, Mr. Reyes, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When child's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days, and I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you need to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. We've appointed Mr. Adler as your attorney. Mr. Adler, introduce yourself, please.
Here you go.
All right, Hugo, you see your attorney pop up on the screen?
Yes,
Okay. All right, so Judge Porter issued a warrant for you for violating your EM. So, see, on September 11th, mom called to say you left the house without permission. And on the 28th, probation talked to you about leaving the house. Again, on the 27th, on 3 occasions for 20-minute increments. It's the second time he warned you about leaving the house without a timeout. October 7th, probation called you again, asked why you left the house without timeout scheduled for 20 minutes. And so this was the last warning. We did verify that you violated your EM. And so while they were trying to arrest you, on the warrant, you ran from the officers. You were arrested and got a ticket for no seatbelt since you removed your seatbelt in the patrol car. And they were telling you to buckle yourself. It's clever.
Judge Kim, be quiet for a second. We gotta pause that and readdress that. Did he just say that they gave him a ticket for no seatbelt because he removed his seatbelt in the squad car? Oh, that's hilarious. I don't know if that charge could stick. He's handcuffed. Could they prove that he had it on to begin with? I don't know. You guys are very sweet, and I appreciate it. But now I'm just laughing at that thought. Sometimes I think some charges are like so weird, and then other times you realize, oh man, don't piss people off because they can make some stuff into a big deal. Anyways, let's continue. Please keep voting in the chat and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Body cams would prove it if they stayed on all the time. Yeah, no worries, Carrie. There we. The potatoes are in. The onions are on the stove. I'm going to cook those and the mushrooms up. Then I'm going to start on the steak. Okay, let's keep going.
All right, so this goes back to July. Police were flagged down by victims, said they were walking back from the store. Hugo and his adult brother were following them. Hugo had
Damn it! You know what happens when I frickin' don't change the frickin' window before I
pistol, held it
type.
out,
Hold
demanded
on, Judge
property.
Kim. Just give me 1 second, please, to get everybody the proper view.
And Hugo pointed the pistol at the victim that ran, fired a shot, hit the concrete next to him. They ran to an apartment complex. Ms. Guerrero, who's the one that, did I release him?
No, Judge, I don't believe it was you. I believe it was Judge Porter, but let me confirm that.
Okay. Well, at least you didn't pick up a new gun crime. All right, so Hugo, you know, it's your unlucky day because if it was up to me, I wouldn't have released you because you had a gun crime. Yes, sir.
Yeah, when Miss Guerrero called and said, and she said that I left home. I was at my house. My mom was there the whole day. I mean, when she called her, my mom even told her that she was there the whole day. I mean, I didn't even leave the house.
I think you're missing the problem. See, my point is, if it was me, I wouldn't have released you because you fired your gun at somebody. All right, Judge Porter, you must have caught him on a good day or somehow your attorney convinced him to release you. So had you just stayed on the outside and not had any problems at all, like all 3 violations or run for the police, then you would have been out and I never would have known about it. But since you had these repeat violations, you came back on my radar. And so now I get to see you and see that I don't think you should be released, but I'm not going to second guess Judge Porter. But at this point, I'm not going to release you. And Steph, let's go ahead and put a note, do not release per district judge. And so you'll see me at the 10-day hearings. You'll have to convince me to release you. Yes, sir.
How would I have to convince you to leave?
Well, you know what? I will tell you, the way to convince me is you were out, never violated your monitor, never ran from the police, never pulled your shenanigans with the police by taking off your seatbelt, and somehow you just popped up. And I'm like, why do you get released? And just been like, well, if he's been doing well, I'll let him stay out. At this point, my deal is I'm not comfortable with kids that have guns or use guns being out in the community. Yes, sir.
I mean, yeah, I understand that point, yeah, but I mean, when they say that I was resisting, it's because they arrested me in my house, right? I was in the couch, and then I had this.
I'm not even worried about that.
Yeah.
Well, you're missing the point, right? The point is you kind of slipped through the cracks and got a free gift. You got a freebie by getting out. And you took advantage of that and you pushed it and you broke the rules. What you should have known is when you got out, like, dang, they messed up. They let me out. I got to live the straight and narrow so Judge Kim doesn't find out about it. But you kept on pushing. You kept on pushing. You kept on pushing. Well, you did. 3 different EF violations. Running from the cops.
Sir, I didn't violate my monitor. When the third time she called, I was not even outside. I was in my house the whole day. It was a Saturday. I was in my house the whole day. My mom was there.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, Ms. Guerrero.
Hold on.
You have the Securus report? How far did he go?
Give me 1 second, Judge.
Yep. So I will tell you one thing. It doesn't work out to lie to me. All right. So she's gonna pull up the reports.
I mean, I'm not lying to you. I mean,
really? Okay. Hold on a second. I'm excited.
Judge, all of the violations have been in the apartment complex. He's staying in the apartment complex. He's just stepping outside of his house. Like the progress report that I submitted, he told me that he was expecting for someone to come to the house. So he allegedly stepped out so they could see him, and then he stepped out again. But he's staying in the apartment complex is where he's staying.
Right. It's a different part of the complex, right?
Yes.
More than the 3 meters from his actual apartment?
Yes.
Yeah. You left your home. It's GPS, man. You can't fool GPS. All right? You can fool it by 3 meters. That's about 3 yards since we're in America. Yes, sir.
How can she say it was more than 3 meters if I was like down my home, like downstairs, like?
So you're gonna keep on lying to me? Is that what you're saying?
No, I was in the stairs of my house. The first time when she called, yeah, that's true. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you.
So you want to keep on digging this hole deeper?
Huh?
You're gonna keep on digging this hole deeper?
Huh?
You want to keep on digging this hole deeper?
No, sir.
Now I have, you got let out by accident, you violated your monitor 3 times, you ran from the cops, you kept on unbuckling your seatbelt, now you're lying to me in court. What else do you want to add to that?
I'm not lying to you, sir.
So now you're doubling down on your lie. What else do you want to add to it?
Nothing, sir.
And that's a wise decision. All right, so we'll see how you do. We'll see you in 10 days, Hugo. All right, forgiven Swift.
I got a question, sir.
What'd you say? Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, I got a question for Mr. Frank Adler.
Okay, he can call you.
Okay. Can you call me?
I'll go see you.
Okay.
All right, forgiven Swift.
Your Honor, if I just may real quick, the mother is unable to attend this morning.
Okay. All right, so Carmen, Mr. Sierra, I had kicked him off of Zoom because he wouldn't turn his camera on. And so he's saying he's unable to rejoin. So, Ms. Johnson, I asked you to fill in for Mr. Sierra.
All righty.
All right, so forgiven, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day detention, or this is a detention hearing. Whenever you've been here for 2 days, you have to see a judge. I have to decide whether to keep you here or release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And your attorney, Mr. Sierra, is unable to attend. So Ms. Carmen Johnson is attending. I will let you know because I know Carmen well. She is advising you to use your right to remain silent. Do not say anything to me at all. And so, all right, so forgiven, I remember you. you have 4 previous assault family violence cases, now an ag assault with a deadly weapon case, and then a week later, a resisting arrest case. And so yesterday at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, there was police responded to domestic. You were sitting at the kitchen table with stepdad. Stepdad said he was out of breath for holding you down since you were destroying the house. They saw broken glass, items around the house. They told you that you were going to be detained and you refused. The officer told you that you were going to be tased if you did not comply. Then you stuck out your arm and allowed yourself to be cuffed. When they were escorting you out, you took off running through several rooms in the house, was able to remove one of her hands from the cuffs. They detained you again, took you to the patrol unit, you refused to get in the car. You spit on one of the officers, hitting him behind his left ear, and tried to spit on the second officer. Then spoke to the mom, she said she was sick and told you were going to have to leave to see the doctor. You didn't want to leave, her to leave, or she said she would have to leave and see the doctor. You didn't want her to leave, so you started breaking things, started punching your mom, kicking her, bit stepfather. Oh, and you're positive for weed too. Why do you have pending cases? So CPS took custody of you and returned you back to the family. We decided no disposition since you're receiving services through CPS. Mom here?
No, Your Honor, she's unable to attend.
So she's still continuing to receive services through CPS?
Your Honor, we just went to court on Thursday. I closed this file out yesterday. She was referred in about an hour after I closed out the file. We put this case on a judgment withheld status for about 30 days. She was adjudicated. We kind of let it sit for about 30 to 40 days prior to the disposition. She stayed out of trouble during that time, was in care of CPS. The close was being closed, and she was receiving counseling through OCOK. That was Thursday, where no disposition was decided, bringing us to today's events.
All right, so forgiven, I'm going to lay this out real simple for you. I'm done with you. All right, you have gotten to the very end of the rope and you're hanging by a thread. So at this point, I'm inclined to think that there are no options in the community to help you, that the only resources available are in TJJD. You have a felony offense, so you can be committed to TJJD. So it is at this point, October 20th, 2020 is where you need to decide whether you're going to get your act together and do right and do what you're supposed to do, or you're going to go to TJJD. Flat out, this is all it is. You need to decide. If you decide TJJD, fine, fantastic. Let me know, let your attorney know, and we'll make it happen. If you decide that you're going to do right, we might give you a chance. But at this point, you still have to convince me that you deserve that chance. But I'm tired of seeing your name on this list. I'm tired of these hearings. I'm tired of you beating up your mom and causing problems in the house, breaking things, causing problems with the police. I'm done. I'm just about checked out on you. Right? So, forgiven, I'm detaining you. Let's see how you do. If you start to mess up, because I remember your behavior level would drop for causing problems back here at detention. If you continue to do that here, then we'll just go ahead and set a final trial for you in 10 days and just send you off to TJJD. It's your decision now. All right? So you are detained. At this point, I'm going to turn the detention hearing over to Judge Terry, and she will continue this matter. Thank you, Judge Terry.
Thank you, Judge Kim. All right. Bryce Jones.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm Judge Terry. This is your detention hearing. You have a right to have this hearing every 10 business days once you have been detained. And the purpose is to determine whether I can release you to a parent or guardian or if I should keep you detained. You have a right to remain silent, but if you do speak, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of proceeding. I can only consider it for detention purposes. And I know that your attorney was on here. Okay, there's Mr. Graham. All right, do we have a parent or guardian here for him?
Yes, Your Honor, the mother's present.
Okay, on the iPhone there? All right, thank you.
Yes, on the iPhone.
Okay.
Here.
See where he's at. All right. Okay, this is your first 10-day detention hearing, it looks like. You've been level 1 outstanding since the 17th, so for the last 3 days, you have a pending offense of theft from a person back here on a violation of a court order. Turned yourself in on the 6th of October. The reporter issued a directive to apprehend. You were failing to contact your PO on scheduled dates. Currently on probation for unlawful carrying a weapon. Third for theft from a person, let's see, detained on the 6th of October. Failed to make contact with your PO on several occasions back, well, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10, back in August. And on the 6th was a complaint. October 6th. Referral from the theft.
One can't possibly do this.
The report on the 16th of August. Confusing because the dates don't line up with. Okay. Officers were dispatched to a Circle S food store in Grapevine in reference to a stolen vehicle. Victim stopped by the store to get coffee and left his Ford Explorer running with the keys inside. While in the store, 2 black teens walked in behind him. One of them was wearing a white t-shirt and black and gray shorts, and the other had a black top with dark pants. One with the white attempts to grab the wallet from his hand and failed to take it. Victim backs up and the teenagers walk out of the store, and then he realizes his Explorer is missing. He went inside the store to view the video, and it showed all 3 suspects getting into his vehicle. The offense was captured on video, and it was a good recording of the suspects. So then who identified him? This is not, I'm not understanding this report. Ms. Washington?
Yes, Your Honor.
How was he identified?
They had him on video at the store where he attempted to get the wallet from the victim. There's also a video that showed the truck pulling off.
Because I'm assuming at some point they were stopped, and I just don't have the rest of the story here. Is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't have that before me, Your Honor, but I can get that to you.
Well, he does have prior dispositions, and he did turn himself in on a DTA, so I'm not too concerned about that right now, but I'm curious. Positive for marijuana when he came in. Psychological evaluation is scheduled for 2 days from now,
Yes, Your Honor.
and they're seeking placement. Looks like he's got quite a long history. Looks like you've got quite the history, Mr. Jones. Kind of ramped it up in the last year.
I finished that probation.
Well, I know, but you know what? The point of finishing the probation is to rehabilitate you so you don't have to come back here and do it all over again and pick up new offenses. So you think you're good to go? If I release you, you can go do other stuff once we resolve what's in front of you now?
No, ma'am.
Okay, all right. You probably should not talk. I'm sure Mr. Graham you don't want to make Mr. Graham's job harder, okay?
No, all I'm gonna say is I live in Crowley, Texas. Like,
I know they're talking about placement search on here. Ms. Washington, do you think that's where we're at already?
I was planning on staffing him after I received the psychological, and I was going to request a placement search so that as soon as I get the psych, it can be conducted before his hearing. However, his hearing is scheduled for tomorrow. I reached out to Mr. Graham and explained to him that the psychological is not going to be received until the 29th. So yeah, I don't know what his stance is.
Yeah, he's not ready for the hearing tomorrow, I don't think.
Right, Ron. I've talked with Ms. Smith. We're going to pass tomorrow. I'll file the motion later today, but we're going to pass the hearing tomorrow. But one thing, that the evaluation itself has been done, correct, Ms. Washington? We're just waiting.
No, I'm sorry, Mr. Graham. It's due on the 22nd. The email that I forwarded you is due on the 22nd.
Here's what I'll do. Here's what we're going to do. I want him to stay here to get the psychological evaluation because he's had plenty of violations before, and he's obviously recently had trouble reporting and following authority like he's supposed to. So, Mr. Jones, you stay on level 1 outstanding until the 23rd. That means no, like, you don't drop to 1A. You stay on 1O the whole time till the 23rd, get the psychological evaluation done, and then I will give you a shot on being released on the EM, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You violate that, and you're just gonna sit here for a while, and you're gonna give me a reason to go ahead and order that placement search, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
In fact, you know what? Why don't we, just to cover our bases, like you said, just as a matter of efficiency, just go ahead and do that. Do a search. I'm not saying that it's appropriate at this time, but I guess Mr. Jones's behavior will tell us that, whether or not he wants to be able to do this at home or if he wants to be placed somewhere.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. For now, he's detained. Let's get the psychological done and then see what his behavioral level is on the 23rd.
Okay, I got a question. So if I'm on level 1 Friday, if I'm on my level 1 till Friday, I go home Friday, right?
That is correct. Mom
Okay.
can come get you that day. Okay. But you would be on a monitor.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
And Your Honor,
Thank
just
you,
to be
Your Honor.
clear, you don't need me to request a new detention hearing before Friday or for
That is
Friday?
correct. It's just that if he's on level, yep, that's correct.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's see. We did Christian Mays earlier. I did his earlier. Wesley Smith. Hi, Wesley. This is
Morning, Your
your
Honor.
Good morning. Wesley, this is your 10-day detention hearing. Purpose is to determine whether I can release you to a parent or guardian or if you should remain detained. Is that mom there? All right.
Yes.
You have a right to remain silent, but if you do speak, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of proceeding. I can only consider it for detention purposes. You also have a right to an attorney, and your attorney is Key Ables, and she is here. Do you see her?
No, ma'am, but I believe you.
Yep, she's got a red sweater on. I want you to see her. She's got her hand up and a red sweater.
No, ma'am, I don't see her on the screen, but I'm sure she's there.
Can you speak up, Ms. Ables? That way your box will highlight.
Hey, Wes.
Okay, yes, ma'am, I see her.
All right. So you've been level 1 outstanding for the last 7 days. That is good. I remember you were referred in for assault, public servant, and unauthorized use of a vehicle. Currently on probation, positive for marijuana back in August. You're scheduled for a psychological evaluation on the 25th of this month, so later this week. And your adjudication proceeding is set for next week.
Judge, I thought he already had a psychological evaluation.
What's going on, Mr. Reyes?
Your Honor, there's one on the record from June, back in June. I don't know if that one is still good or not for the next hearing. That will be a question.
Didn't we, Stephanie, did you see anything in the notes? I mean, I thought that, yeah, what's with the TOIRC? I thought there was a note, there's a note here that we were waiting on a bed there for him.
Yes, Your Honor. Back then, he was scheduled to go on the 14th for TYRC residential. However, that's when a few days before this incident happened, that's when he assaulted in the back.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so that one occurred here in the back while he was waiting for the bed. So he's ruined his chance at going and getting a bed, but I'm sure he wants me to release him to go home.
But Judge, his parents are in the process of, they're looking at 2 different schools, therapeutic schools, where he can get education and get treatment and everything. He has a doctor's appointment this week with Dr. Simpara. The fact that he's been on level 1 outstanding for any days is fantastic for Wes. He's actually, in my opinion, been in there this is the point where he needs to go home, and we need to let him go home. And the onus is on Wes. Is he going to be successful? Is he going to listen to his parents? Is he going to listen to Mr. Reyes? Is he going to listen to me? We need to figure that out. And this is the perfect time to do that. Wes had to work harder than most kids back there, in my opinion, to get to level 1, and he did it. And whatever little bit we can give him, this needs to be it. And I'm sorry.
Has he had a psychiatric evaluation?
Dr. Sankara, did Sankara do one, Lynn?
Oh, you're muted, ma'am.
There's a special. Somebody extra has to do it.
Okay, yes, he's seen a lot of doctors. Dr. Sankara is his psychiatrist. He's diagnosed with anxiety and depression. Really, meds have not worked. He, the last June psychological in jail, diagnosed him with conduct disorder and cannabis use disorder. And the recommended treatment was cognitive behavioral therapy, which we've been doing. It just hasn't taken. So we do have an appointment with someone tomorrow for just an LPC, but this person takes in-person counseling right now because the Zoom process really didn't work for Wesley or us. So
are you're able to take him and provide treatment for him from home?
Absolutely. I don't work now. He will never be unsupervised. My husband gets home from work at 4 o'clock, so we're both there all night. And I've seen a heart shift in Wesley in the last maybe 10 days. On the phone talking to him, he seems willing to accept the authority that's over him.
So I just hear a question in the chat about conduct disorder. So conduct disorder is the adult version of oppositional defiance disorder, which is the version that happens in kids. And the main differentiating factor between the two is interaction with law enforcement. So that's a requirement to be diagnosed with conduct disorder, as opposed to oppositional defiance disorder, which can, as we've talked about, dissipate over time and not, continue on into adulthood with everybody that has it, because ODD can be both a standard part of somebody's personality, but it can also be caused by disruptive parenting. And that type of parenting, when it ends in adulthood, sometimes the situation rectifies itself. Hi, Lucy. I'm sorry that you're not doing well, but we're here. We're hanging out. I'm making dinner right now. This guy's hair is not my problem. His tattoo on his neck is my problem. And I don't care about adults getting tattoos, but the sheer fact that we're watching him means that he's a kid, and I don't like that. Anyways. CBD for conduct disorder, not pot. Honestly, that would probably work better, but he already was diagnosed also with cannabis use disorder. So that means that he's in a place where people think cannabis is really bad and they're not willing to allow him to utilize it in any way. Yeah, I love all of you. If anybody's having a bad day or Easter wasn't quite the bunny hop that you thought it was going to be, let's travel back in time together. Remember to vote in the chat. You can do it a bunch, as many times as you want. Listen, I don't have problems with tattoos. Everybody can and should do what they want for tattoos. But that's a hard thing to make a decision on at that age. I was making bad decisions at that age on that. Anyways. Also, if you're not subscribed already, I would love your subscription. I do lots of different things, including these detention dinners. And also, you get points just for being here. So any person in the chat gets points. All you have to do to look them up is type in !points, and it'll tell you how many points you have. They are arbitrary, given weirdly by Streamlab. And I want you all to know that I love you all, and randomly I'll try and give out lots and lots of points. But yeah, let's get back to watching it. Judge Terry is way not as interesting as Judge Kim at all. She reminds me of like a mom who has good kids and like gives the most stupid, I'll fix that, Carrie. But gives the most stupid like advice, like, oh, have you tried like not smoking pot? Like, oh fuck, I wonder if that would have worked. Like sometimes. Daylight, you're gonna ruin everybody. I don't know how the gambling part works yet. I just know they're given the points. Anyways, let me go ahead and play it again. Keep playing it.
Try to live under it.
Well,
This has been a village, Judge.
I know. I recall. Yeah. Yep.
And so, and Wes, I am so proud of this young man because he started listening, and he has made great improvements. And like I said before, he needs a reward, and we need to let him go.
I was. One of the reasons I'm going to release you is because you have two parents there who are able to provide you the help that you need. Okay. Don't make it difficult for them. Okay. I think you're doing well to help yourself. It's been over a month since you had that issue there in the back, and you have been on level 1 outstanding for 7 days. So I'm going to go ahead and release you. I am going to put you on a monitor just because of the other pending offense that you had. Tells me that you run off, and do stuff. So I'm going to put you on a monitor so that will help make mom and dad's job easier. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And don't give your mom a hard time about going to your appointments and doing stuff you're supposed to be doing. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. I think that's my last one. Can I be?
It is. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge.
Rudy Valle.
Your Honor, mom was notified this morning or reminded this morning. She said she got the reminder the last minute, so she's not coming this morning.
Okay.
For hearing.
Okay. She's probably worn out.
Probably.
Hi, Rudy. This is your 10-day detention hearing. It's to determine whether I can release you back home to your mom or if I should keep you here detained. You have a right to remain silent, but if you do speak, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of proceeding. I can only consider it for detention purposes. And you have the right to have an attorney present. Your attorney is Mr. Green, and he is here. So, Ms. Johnson, if you wanted to sign off, you are free to go. This is my last one.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Well, you've been level 1 outstanding since the 16th, so the last 4 days, so that's good. Let's see. I can't remember. Mr. Reyes, who released him before?
That was Judge Porter. He got his probation got extended, Your Honor.
Okay. Yep.
3 days he was released on the monitor. And like 3 days later, he
back
started
in June, and then
right.
a DTA. Mm-hmm.
Right. And right now, if I want to just elaborate more on this case, he said for December the 8th, and there's a placement search as of yesterday.
Was it for marijuana when he came in a month ago?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that's the thing, Rudy, you've been here for so long again. I don't like keeping you here. I really don't. But it's DTA after DTA after DTA, and then in between, you know, every now and then you pick up a new offense. Now in this last one with your friends, you know, there's a gun involved. Mr. Reyes, do you know what the longest Rudy's been on level 1 outstanding?
Okay, that'll be since he's been for, if I'm counting right as of today, 6 days, maybe 7.
So that's the most he's ever been on level 1 outstanding?
Yes, Your Honor. Because he has, since he's been there, 18 level 3s and 5 level 2s.
I mean, Rudy, you're telling me that you do want to go home because seems to me like you're turning your behavior around for now. You've done this before though, and that's why you've been released before. So I'm confident that you can do it. I'm not sold that you will do it. And my biggest concern is there was a gun in involved in these last 2 alleged offenses. I really need to be sure that you can have consistent level 1 outstanding behavior, because I know that you don't listen to your mom. I know that. Here's what I want to do. Why don't we set him for a detention hearing a week from today and see if he is still on level 1 outstanding with no hiccups. Make sure mom knows, see if she can be here. I'm not promising you that you're going to be released if you stay on level 1 outstanding already, okay? So even if I don't, then stay on level 1 outstanding anyways, just because you've got a final hearing coming up, okay? And so you just need to do that in order to help yourself, help the outcome of these cases, okay? All right, so for now, I'm not quite convinced that the community would be safe if I released you, or that you would have suitable supervision, because I know you don't listen to your mom, but I'm open to considering it again a week from now instead of 2 weeks, okay? All right, but for now, you're detained. Thank you.
And Judge, can I add something?
Yes.
So you're aware of why we did what we did. The only reason we pushed it to a bench trial so fast is because he is detained. We've given up our right to a jury just because he's sitting in jail, and you know, and we all know if the detention hearing report, that first paragraph was all you heard at trial, he'd be entitled to a verdict, a not guilty verdict. So that's why we did so, Your Honor.
Yeah, I know, and I'm glad that it's pushed up. I am worried. Page 2 is what I'm most concerned about. Does that make sense, Mr. Green?
Yes, Your Honor, but you weren't there when we set this, so that's why I'm just letting you know why we did it.
All right, good. I'm glad you did, though. All right, thank you.
Appreciate it, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be dismissed?
Yes, thank you all. That concludes our detention hearings for today.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Hey guys, just hang on. We have another one coming. Don't worry. I've already got it queued up. It'll just take a moment. You can take this moment to hit the like or subscribe button if you haven't done so already. You can even hit the dislike. Go right ahead. If you want to dislike the video, dislike the video. I don't care. Well, I do. Actually, I find it fascinating, but regardless. Also, leave a comment. Tell me why. Anywho, let's continue on with our detention hearings. We're going I think it's Judge Kim again, which, you know, is better. I like his, well, he's just more dramatic, so let's just be honest. That's the reality of this situation. He's more dramatic. Okay, I think, oh, look, it's gonna be a busy one. Yes, everybody who's there, be safe in the chat. Just remind you of that. Okay. Let's all filter in, please. We'll all filter in, hit the like button, go.
Hi. Can you hear me? That's what they told me to do. I think they can hear me.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I'm not your lawyer, though. I'm someone else's lawyer.
I know.
But yeah, it's working fine.
You can hear me.
Hmm? Yeah.
Miss Halo?
Appropriately. So, Miss Martin. All right, good morning, everyone. This is the detention docket for the 323rd District Court on Friday, October 23rd, 2020. It's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So all the judges wearing pink on Fridays this month. All right, so in compliance with the Texas Supreme Court Emergency Order number 25 related to the coronavirus, we are not conducting in-person proceedings unless necessary. We are using Zoom as a reasonable alternative. However, this is still a court proceeding, and the court expects everyone to behave appropriately. So, Ms. Martin, I see that you are driving. Please do not drive while you're attending court. I need you to pull over and remain stopped. So, this is still a court proceeding. The court also expects everyone to have the cameras on if you're attending. So, Mr. Lofton, if you turn your camera on, and somebody is, I guess they're through the phone, so they have no camera. Fantastic. All right. Ms. Martin, it's not safe to drive while you're attending court. Please pull over. Okay, so somebody else is driving. Okay. Yeah, and if that means anything, I still need you to pull over somewhere because the moving background is distracting for everyone else. All right? Thank you. But just find a reasonable, safe place to stop. All right. Oh, and in compliance with the Texas Open Courts Act, Article 1, Section 13 of the Texas Constitution, the public has a right to see proceedings, but since the courtrooms are closed in compliance with Judge Glenn Whitley's order, we are broadcasting these proceedings on YouTube for the public to observe court proceedings. All right, Mr. Cagle, please turn the camera so it's not the ceiling. Thank you very much. All right, so first we have Alaya Adams. Ms. Adams, is that you?
Yes, hi.
Okay. Hi, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Ms. McGonigal has been appointed as your attorney and has requested this detention hearing. Ms. McGonigal, for what purpose did you request this hearing?
Your Honor, if you remember, Aaliyah had her initial detention hearing on Monday, and she requested to have one on Friday, and there was discussion about San Marcos.
Yes.
I learned. I learned this morning, and this is why this is an add-on. I do apologize for the last minute, but I thank your staff for accommodating us and getting us on today. She is able to go to San Marcos on Monday. So I'm asking that she be allowed to go home today, pending going to San Marcos on Monday. She is represented to the court on Monday and to myself this morning that she is wanting to go to San Marcos and willing to participate in that program. I don't see Dad on the Zoom, but I know that Dad's wish.
My mom's right there.
I think they're here in the transport room.
Okay.
Sorry, Your Honor. I'm sorry. This was an add-on. I just finished talking to Dad, and he's indicating to me that he does not have a placement for her until possibly Wednesday. Yeah, and he was not aware of the detention hearing today. I mean, he's not at a place where he can log on to Zoom. The lady that's on the juvenile parent screen is Dad's, I believe he was dating her. I'm not, and she's here on another child, but she wants to be present for this hearing. I did not communicate to Dad that she's here. And so I just want to put that on the record. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So
can anybody hear me?
Hold on, Travis is on the phone right now. This is her father.
Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna have to mute you. Like this is not. This is the court's proceeding, not y'all's. All right. So this is what I'm trying to figure out. I was told that San Marcos had a bed available on Monday. Can anybody confirm that?
That was what was represented to me.
Okay, hold on.
That was represented to me, Your Honor, by my client.
I understand. So, Aaliyah, you can confirm that San Marcos has a bed available for you Monday?
No, it's actually on Wednesday. They actually called my dad, and I told my attorney that was Monday, but it is actually now on Wednesday, because apparently, but my dad still wants me to come home today or Monday, but he'd rather me come home sooner so I can have time with the family and that I can say goodbye, and so I can go into my program, and because I won't be able to talk to them, I won't be able to see them for another 4 to 6 months when I'm in that program, but I'm willing to stay home and whatever has to happen, but I'm willing to stay home and until my day is set.
Okay. So Aaliyah, then what I'm going to say right now is give me your honest, heartfelt reason why I should give you a chance when you've run away before taking your dad's truck, that I should allow you to stay out either today, get out today, spend the weekend and Monday, Tuesday at home, or just wait till Tuesday before I release you.
I think that you should release me today because I'm willing to. I actually spoke to a physical, like, for meds and everything, like a psychiatric person. So, and they actually, I told them that I've never told someone before that I think that I made a mistake and that I need to own up to my responsibilities to come home and be the child that I need to be in order for them to have me in the home, because I don't think they trust me yet, and I understand that they won't be able to trust me, but I feel that I'm ready to come home.
Okay. So Leah, this is what I'm gonna lay out to you, okay? And I know you're only 15, okay? So, but I know you've been through more than the typical 15-year-old, and I can tell that you're more mature than the typical 15-year-old. So I'm gonna talk to you like an adult, okay? You and I never met each other until this week at a detention hearing, right? You and I have no pre-existing relationship or any kind of acquaintanceship before this, okay? So you have not burned any bridges with me yet. Okay? Everything that you've shown me so far, it seems like you've been very forthcoming, you've been very open and very honest with me, right? So given that, my personal philosophy is I will trust somebody until they prove they cannot be trusted. So I'm gonna go ahead, based on what you say and what you're representing to me, is to release you to your dad today. But I want you to understand that for the next 4 or 5 days until you go to San Marcos, if you burn me this time, you understand the next time I'm not going to trust you, right?
Sir, I understand.
So that's something that you have to kind of internally restrain yourself to say, you've had times where you and your family and your friends and loved ones, and that's just part of relationships. Sometimes people make mistakes or burn each other. You can't do that to me, because the next time we only see each other in these detention situations, And so then you have to understand that if you burn me on this one, the next time it's not going to go so well. All right.
Yes, sir.
So in the back of your mind, you just got to keep that in mind, saying, you know, my dad may not be upset if I do this right now, but I'm going to be accountable for Judge Kim the next time I see him, and you will see me again. All right.
I know. I have another meeting after my thing. After my.
And you still have your case.
Yes.
I mean, the case doesn't go away, right? So either way, you will see me again. I just want you to see me be able to sit up tall and say, Judge Kim, I did everything I promised you. And that way we don't have to have an uncomfortable conversation. Okay, so keep that in the back of your mind. Hopefully that's an incentive for you to do that. So, and honestly, what I'm gonna do is I'm not even gonna release you on electronic monitor. I'm just gonna release you to your dad, because if your dad tells us you're not there, and then you're not there, then you and I are going to have a very uncomfortable conversation. Okay?
Well, my dad, I think he feels comfortable with me on a monitor. And so can you unmute my mom so you can ask him if he'd rather me on a monitor?
Well, so your dad is uncomfortable because you've burned him, okay?
Yeah.
You haven't burned me yet, okay? And honestly, the consequences from your dad compared to the consequences from what I could do, I'm on a different magnitude. I could send you to TJJD and commit you, okay? It's a whole different ballgame. So if anything keeps you in check, I think you are mature and responsible enough to understand that if you burn me on this one, it's not going to be a pleasant situation.
I think my mom wants me unmuted so she can tell you something.
Okay. I mean, I'll listen. I've made up my mind, but I'll listen.
Yeah, I know. I think she has something to say.
Hold on a second. Can you unmute her, please? I muted her by accident.
Travis just relayed to me that they're not for sure that she's going to have a bed Wednesday. Like, it's not a done deal. So this is his concern.
Okay, so hold on a second. I'm hearing from multiple people. Some people are saying it is a done deal. Some people are not. Can anyone confirm that they will have a bed on Wednesday?
Hold on. Can I ask him now?
No, just put it.
Travis, is this, so there was no confirmation of the bed on Wednesday? Is this what you're saying? Okay, there is a bed next week, but she won't let him know till Monday when exactly that bed is open, is what he's saying.
Okay. I'm not worried about it. If they know it's going to be next week, I'm okay with releasing Aaliyah. But Leah, I mean, I hope you understand, in a way, I'm giving you enough freedom to make your situation worse.
Yes, sir.
Right? So you can do either what you are supposed to do and your situation stays the same, that you and I have this relationship, that I trust you, I'm honest with you, you're honest with me, you trust me, or you can make it worse. Okay? It doesn't really get better, because right now this is about as good as it gets. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So don't make the situation worse than it already is. All right?
All right.
Okay. Dad, he is able to, like the runaway part, and so just so Travis understands, I'm actually kind of setting Aaliyah up where if she does run away, that gives me more information to make me more inclined to commit her. And so I understand he wants a monitor, but I hope he understands that I'm kind of doing this. I'm kind of setting a trap for you, Aaliyah. Okay.
I know. I saw as soon as you're like, well, if you run away, you got a whole case right here.
It's still pending. So I'm setting that trap for you. So either you avoid the trap or do what you're supposed to do, or you walk through the trap and it gets really uncomfortable.
So I had a phone call with my father last night, and he was saying that he would want me on a monitor if I do get released, but I think you already made up your mind that you don't want me on a monitor.
He wants you on a monitor because he's afraid you're going to run away. I don't want you on a monitor because I want you to show me if probation is right for you or if we need to commit you.
Okay.
That way I just find out at the very beginning of the case, so we don't have to mess with the fighting back and forth.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Emilio Andrade.
Yo, what's up?
Okay, bye.
Yes, sir.
a little high strung. He's been in the military for so long. It's like,
Hey.
Exactly.
All right, Mr. Andrade, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The purpose of this, keep on talking.
The table is literally underneath the boot.
Where's this noise coming from?
Put your arm and just kind of even, you know what I'm saying?
Where is this noise coming from?
That's them.
All right, so let me mute that part.
Okay, sounds great.
All right. Eduardo C., who is that?
Emilio's mom. Yeah.
Who's all that talking in the background there?
It's because I'm at work.
Okay, this is interrupting the court proceeding. Either you have to go to a place that's quiet or ask them to be quiet.
Let me move location.
All right, so just put a note next time she's appear in person. We should
That's
probably
because
have
it's
a
too much
spot.
noise. We'll go over here.
Yeah, this is. All right,
Okay.
Amelia, this is a detention hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to decide whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you in custody, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to an attorney and you have a right to remain silent. All right, Emilio, you've been here for 10 days. I'm reviewing your case. You've actually been here for almost 100 days. You're level 1 outstanding, and you have been for about a week now. All right, so you're on probation for a felony level offense. You left home unsupervised and violated the order. See, the condition said you must be supervised by an approved adult at all times in public places except when you're at school, and chaperoned by an adult 18 years or older. So your mom called, said that you've been leaving the house at night after she goes to bed. You go to your friend's house to get high. She said that recently on July 15th, you left the house, didn't come back till 5 in the morning. And so throughout your probation, you've been having trouble with your safety plan. You've been smoking weed. You're refusing to work at school. You're sleeping in class or skipping class altogether. You had to repeat 6th grade. You're not making progress in PSY. You went to residential drug treatment at TYRC. And you started some self-harm. And back in June, you were discharged from TYRC. So we have a placement for you, but you need some dental work before you get transported. All right, so Mr. Jones, where are we on the dental work so you can go to the placement?
Yes, we're waiting on approval from, I think his insurance. I think the dentist is waiting on some approval to get certain things some of the work done. He has had some of the work done on one side of his mouth, but the remaining procedures need to be approved. And so they're waiting on that approval to finish the work.
Okay, so Amelia, we're trying to get you a placement. I appreciate you at the level 1O. That is a factor for me to decide. You understand that you are looking at commitment for this offense. And so I appreciate the fact that you're showing more respect to our staff than you did your teachers. I'm not saying that to be snarky. I'm saying that sincerely, all right? This means a lot to me because we don't have to send you a placement. We could send you to TJJD. The fact that you are behaving and showing us you're trying to make an effort at following the rules, that's what's buying you this opportunity. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and detain you because you walk out of the house at night, but hopefully we can get you sent to the placement started pretty quickly so that way you can get finished pretty quickly and come back and we'll give you another chance on probation as long as you successfully complete the placement. Okay?
All right.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, Marco Chazaretta. Where's Mr. Chazaretta?
He's in H pod, Your Honor. He's on the screen.
All right, we can wait.
He's on there, Your Honor.
don't see him. Mr. Chazaretta? Can you hear me? Okay, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when a child's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you in custody, then you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, I'll provide one for you. All right, so Mr. Chazaretta, on October 21st, you were adjudicated delinquent for the offense of theft, which is a felony level offense. You received 12 months of probation, restitution, community service, no contact, and to attend school, as well as TCAP and to refrain from using any illegal substances. And then on October 22nd, the day after you came to court, you pled guilty and got your probation. Let's see, at about 2 o'clock in the morning, we got an alert on your electronic monitor. We tried to call the parents. Then we sent the police after not getting a call back from the parents. And so about 2:30, Fort Worth PD called us and said the mom and you were home when they got there. And mom contacted JPD and said, was very adamant that you were at home the entire time and you were charging your electronic monitor. The alert showed that you were not charging your monitor and you were outside the home from 12:50 to 1:42. So we issued a warrant for you. And so we came in. Now you had been in custody for how long? Let's see, Mr. Earl, how long was he in custody before he took before he came to court and got probation?
Almost 60 days, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
Almost 60 days.
60 days.
Yes, sir.
And so when we brought you in, you're actually positive for marijuana. So you were out of custody on probation for less than 24 hours and you decided to smoke some weed. And so we have your EM reports and it shows you, and we've confirmed that you had left the home. How far did he go, Ms. Turnhill? This printout is kind of hard to read.
I mean, just a second. I can't tell exactly how far it is from the house. It looks like it was past Oakhorse, I guess it's Oakhorse Elementary School, which, I mean, it doesn't look like it's walking distance. And I don't have like if it was a few miles or anything like that.
So at 1 o'clock in the morning, he was over by elementary school?
It's past the elementary school.
Past elementary school.
That was just just a point of reference.
And then mom complained that no one explained to her when the EM would be turned on. And so she's upset that we were monitoring you and she couldn't help you evade the monitoring. And lying to probation about being with you. And so here's the interesting thing, Mr. Chazaretta. I want to have this discussion with you. So on October 21st, you appeared before Judge Porter and you pled true that you were delinquent on the felony level offense. And so what's interesting though, is you may not know about the laws. Just because the judge says something doesn't mean it's official yet. It's not actually official until the judge signs what's called the judgment. All right, that's the paper that actually matters. Interestingly, in your case, the judgment's not even signed yet, right? So you're out there released, smoking weed, breaking conditions of the probation that you thought you were on when there's no formal order signed. And so at this point, I don't think it's appropriate for this disposition, and we are not going to sign this order. So is Ms. Uzawihe here? She was the attorney for the case, or did we appoint new counsel?
A new Frank Adler, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Adler, so you're appointed counsel on this one. The court is rejecting the offer made by the state on this case. All right, and so at this point, if you would like to converse with your client and withdraw his plea, the court will grant permission to withdraw his plea of true, and we can go back. We'll go ahead and set this for, now Mr. Adler, I know Ms. Uzawihe was on this case before, and so we want to give you time, but if it's up to me, we're going to set this for final trial before the court in 10 days. Mr. Adler, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you would like more time than that, please let the court know, and we'll give you some more time so you can catch up on this. But we're going to go ahead and get adjudication dispo on this one pretty quick. right?
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
If you ask me, it's just 10 days, but if not, if you need more time, I understand. I'll give you more time. Marco, do you understand what's going on? The deal that you got, that you agreed to, is off, right? We're rejecting the deal. And so what that means now is you're back to the drawing board, looking at a felony level offense, so you could be committed to TJJD. And then your attorney will explain that process to you, all right? Decisions have consequences. Good decisions come from experience. Experience comes from bad decisions. Hopefully this turns into an experience that you can make good decisions from. Thank you, Mr. Chazaretta. Ernesto De La Rosa.
Judge, that one was, we're waiving that one, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, great. Would you- Okay. I don't have a waiver form. Is it just lost, Mr. Adler?
No, sir, it's, I'm with your other court coordinator and I'll give it to her.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have John Elder. All right, Mr. Elder, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a child's brought to a facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days, and I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you get to see a judge every 10 days while you're here, so we can make another decision. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Mr. Elder, I know your name, so that's not a good thing. So you're 16 years old. Let's go over this, Mr. Elder, because I'm getting tired of seeing you. So things started when you were 14 years old with an assault case you got probation for. Then when you're 15, you had a runaway case. We had to issue we had to issue warrants for you for violating your probation in June of 19, July of 19, August of 19, September of 19, October of 19, November of 19, December of 19, January of 20. You picked up a new case, February of 20. And while that case is going on, you have another runaway case. Then in March of 20, you pick up a criminal trespass, which you got probation for. May of 20, you pick up another criminal trespass. August of 20, another criminal trespass. A week later, another criminal trespass. And so now we're here. So you're here because we issued a warrant for you for criminal trespass this morning about 3 o'clock. There are 2 black males walking with traffic. There's no sidewalk. They identified themselves, so the police gave you a warning about walking with the traffic. So the officers went back to his patrol car, ran both names. They said that you were listed as a high-risk runaway and had a warrant out of Fort Worth. While attempting to confirm the information, you said that you cut off your ankle monitor. Back on the 18th, you left the home on the electronic monitor without permission, and we issued a warrant for you. And then on yesterday, we got an alert that you cut off your monitor. Okay. So this is all back from July when Winco police got there. Witness said that saw you enter the building after you had a criminal trespass warning from March. They asked you to leave. You cussed and yelled at the witness before leaving the store. They got a video from surveillance and saw you entering the store. And you're positive for weed. So you're on probation, cut off your monitor, smoking weed. All right. Have we done a placement search for Mr. Elder yet, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor, we have not.
I think there's a host of other issues. Has he ever had a psychiatric evaluation?
He has, and Your Honor, that was going to be my recommendation, that if he's detained today, if we can get a psychiatric evaluation on him.
Is your parent here?
She is supposed to be. Yes.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, hello. Where are you, Mom?
I'm at home.
No, I'm sorry. I meant where are you on the screen? Thank you.
Oh.
I'm glad you're at home. All right, so John is just out of control, isn't he?
Yes.
And I'm assuming this attitude that he has with the court, it's even worse for you. Is that about right?
Yes.
So we're just at the point, these are all misdemeanors. You know, I can't send him to EJJD for all this, but We've got to take care of this issue. He's wasting a whole bunch of police resources. He's wasting court resources. And so we just need to get to the root of the issue. So at this point, Mom, I know you want what's best for him. So hold on a second. I'm filling out a form. Has he ever seen a mental health professional?
Who?
Mental health professional?
He don't seem like we went to the MH&R clinic, and he talked to someone there. But that was about it.
Has he been diagnosed with anything?
He was diagnosed with ADHD.
Okay. What about ODD?
Not that I know of. He had got a new counselor at the last summer, but last spring, and they had wanted him to do some new medication, but they wanted to get information from the school building, but he never was going to school for me to even give them paperwork for them to turn it in.
He's never had medication before then?
Yes, he was on some medication before, but once the guy retired, the new counselor wanted to see something different.
Right. Did you bring those medications with you?
No, he haven't been taking them ever since he started running away. He stopped taking them, so we ain't have anything.
Okay. All right. Well, I ordered a psychiatric evaluation that generally happens about once a week. So it'll be next week. I think Wednesday is when the doctor comes. So the doctor will be able to evaluate him, see what's going on. And Ms. Thomas, let's go ahead and start a placement search.
Okay.
So you also would you also like a psychological evaluation for the placement search?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm going to order a psychological. So we have a psychological, psychiatric, and a placement search ordered. John, the best thing I can say is just, behave back there. Do the best you can. Let me tell you why. If you're here and you behave, and your behavior level is good, then it'll be easy to find a placement for you. We'll send you there. It'll be some state like Iowa or South Dakota or something like that. They'll take 6 to 9 months. And then you do what you're supposed to do, engage in the programs, you get back out, we put you back home, and hopefully your life becomes very low conflict, right? With your mom, with me, with the police, with everyone. The problem is if you cause problems back here and you start acting a fool, then more placements will not be willing to take you because of your behavioral problems. So it becomes fewer and fewer placements, and it will take longer for you sitting here to find a placement because we'll eventually find a placement, okay? So you'll just have to sit here longer before we can send you somewhere to do the 6 to 9 months. So it's your benefit if you just behave here, find a placement quickly, and get this process started. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Elder. Mariana Flores. So, Flores.
That way? Yeah. Okay. We're done. We're done.
All right, so Ramisha Mack, please not have your camera pointed at the ceiling. This is a court proceeding. Ms. Mack, please do not have your camera pointed at the ceiling. Please attend the court proceeding as if you were in court. Thank you. All right, Ms. Flores, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a child's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you here or release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days. You do have a right to remain silent. We've appointed Mr. Masick as your attorney.
Yes, Your Honor.
For this process. All right, Mariana, you've never been here before. You're 15 years old. This morning, about 4 o'clock in the morning, police were dispatched for domestic. Your grandfather said you were trying to run away. He had to hold you back. When they got there, you and Grandpa were calm and sitting on the couch. Grandma was there. Grandpa said that he was trying to keep you from leaving the house, but you scratched his arm and then tried to spray him with bug spray, but missed. Grandpa told the police he was tired of dealing with you, so he wanted you taken. He also said that Dad is the legal guardian and lives in the Metroplex, but refuses to allow you to live with him. Mom's whereabouts are unknown. Grandpa initially agreed to mediation, but Dad said they need something more serious than mediation. Talked about supervision, receiving services. And Grandpa agreed, so mediation was canceled. So I guess that's Dad and Grandpa. Y'all are here?
Yes, sir.
All right, what's the bigger issue with Mariana? There's something else here.
Mariana, she keeps sneaking out with this 16-year-old boy every night between 3 and 2 in the morning. And she just comes home like about 6, and she just drinks alcohol whenever she wants to. She pretty much wants to do whatever she wants to do.
All right, do you think she's using drugs too?
It could be possible.
Would you like us to give her a drug test?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's go ahead and I'm going to order a drug test so we can see what Mariana is doing. Mariana, do you want to? Well, here's the thing. So we're going to give you a test, and you can either come clean now, and that way your dad knows, or you can wait for the result.
Wait for the result, because I haven't been taking drugs or running away with 16 boy.
I can't hear you. Can you speak louder?
I would wait for the result because I don't take drugs and I haven't been running away with 16-year-old boy.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, you know what? This is not, Dad, I understand, but this is not the time for to resolve a conflict between you two. I mean, this is, just kind of put it under your hat, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Dad, this is where I'm at, all right? This is a fairly minor offense, okay, relative to other things that we see in here in this court. All right. I'm inclined to release her to you whenever you're ready to release her. But one thing I want you to, and this is, I want to talk to you dad to dad, okay, just father to father. I want to have a different conversation with you. Okay. Our detention facility is not for punishment, okay? That's not what we do here. We don't keep kids here to punish them or to teach them a lesson. Literally, we keep kids here by law is to make sure they come to court, make sure they don't hurt other people, make sure they don't hurt themselves, okay? That's why we keep kids here. So I need you kind of in your mind, don't think of this as jail in the adult sense where there's a punishment aspect. This is not a punishment aspect, right? This is a rehabilitation corrective measure aspect, okay? Just want to kind of have that conversation with you. Now, Dad, that being said, I want to release her, but I understand if she is going to do what she's going to do, we simply can't release her. Like, I get that, okay? And I can only imagine the frustration that you're going through.
Yes.
So I have a plan, which probably you're going to disagree with, all right? But I want you to humor me on this one. What I would like to do is I would like to hold Mariana here until she proves that she can behave and follow the rules, until she gets to level 1-0. We have a behavior system here. If you can follow the rules and behave, then your behavior level goes up. If you misbehave, your level goes down. And it's purely going to be up to her whether she can prove to us she can follow the rules. If she can prove to us she can follow the rules, I want to release her to you. If she cannot follow the rules at your home, then you call us and we just bring her back here. Okay. The next time she has to get to level 1-0 and then hold it for 3 days. And the next time if she still breaks her rules at home, she has to hold it for 7 days. And the next time 10. And you understand, it just gets worse and worse until she realizes it's her decisions that result in her being at home in your place or with Grandpa, or she ends up here. It's just up to her, okay?
All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah, that also, what I would like you to do for in the days that you have, is go ahead and go to a store and you can get door alarms. They're just alarms that you put on the door, so when the electrical contact is broken, it sets off the alarm. All right, so that way you know if she goes out of her room at night.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Yeah. So they're cheap, they're easy to install, they're just run on batteries. And so once you shut the door for the night, she has to stay in her room for the night. And that way you know if she's leaving. And that way if she leaves out the house or through the window or something, you have to set one up for the window too. If she does, then what you have to do is you have to call us and we'll just issue a warrant for her and we'll start the process over again. Okay?
All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah, and Dad, I think in your mind, you're probably thinking, Judge, she's going to run away again. Yeah. I'm just asking you to humor me, okay? Yes. So there's a process that we do. If Mariana can prove that she's done right, then we're good. If she proves that you're right, then we just have to escalate at every step. Okay? Eventually, she will get tired of coming here.
Yeah, no, I like your decision, sir.
All right, well, thank you, sir. So, Mariana, you understand what's going on. I'm detaining you. Once you get to level 1-0, I will go ahead and release you on electronic monitor to your father, all right? And then you can abide by his rules there. If you do not abide by those rules, we'll issue a warrant for you and we'll just bring you back here. And each time you're here, you'll stay here a little bit longer. Okay, so it's really up to you. This can be the only time you ever come here, or this can be the first of many, many times that you come here. All right. And don't think I don't keep kids here for Christmas or Thanksgiving or their birthdays or for anything like that, because I do. This is your decision on whether you come back or not. All right. Oh, and this is also pending on the drug test, because if she ends up being positive on this drug test and she's not willing to admit what she's done, then I'm going to hold her for extra time, depending on what drug's in there. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Masick. All right. Trent Lofton, we have Luis Gallegos.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right. So, Mr. Gallegos, this is a 10-day detention hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. You've been here for 140 days. So that being said, where are we on this one?
I think we have a setting next week, I believe. So I think the DA has offered, a prior DA had offered 30 years, and we graciously declined that offer. So here we are again, Your Honor. And Zane has reached out to us, the DA has, and to myself and the co-defendants, attorney Lateef, and I believe we're scheduled to have some good talks this week, and I feel in the interest we will have some good talks this week.
Okay. So at this point, I will reset it one more time for announcement, but y'all have to announce whether you want a trial or not.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we'll go, I'm going to set it for 3 weeks out.
Yes, sir.
Because 4 weeks is Thanksgiving week. So at that point in 3 weeks, I'm expecting an announcement from the parties whether we want trial or not.
Yes, sir.
Because I also note I'm going to find there's probable cause for the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon for the shooting, and that you're also level 2. And so, I wasn't going to release you anyways if you're level 2, right? So.
Yes, sir.
All right. And I see that Mom is here. Mom, I'm glad. I appreciate. I know you're here every single time. Again, just like the last time I told you, I can't imagine what you're going through all this, but I feel for you. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm detaining him. I do want you to know, Mom, that this is something that we're really trying to, I'm trying to push so there's some kind of resolution one way or another.
Yes,
Okay?
sir. I understand. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Mr. Lofton, have a good weekend.
You have a nice weekend too. May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye, all. Bye.
Asia Greer. I don't know why that last one wasn't filed at the Capitol. That surprised me. All right. Ms. Greer, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when a child's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I decide whether to keep you in custody or release you. If I keep you in custody, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. You know, afford one, I'll provide one for you. Ms. Greer is 16 years old, and you have no history with this department. All right. Yesterday, Fort Worth PD brought you in. They're saying that on that date, police responded to a domestic, found you on a nearby street, told police that you were the one that called 911. You said that your older brother assaulted you. Police went to your home, made contact with Reginald and Rumisha Mack, your 2 siblings, and a witness. Police were told by everyone that 2 verbal altercations had happened between Asia and Rumisha, and after the first, Asia sneaked a male into the house, provoking the second. Reginald tried to discipline you with the blessing or on instruction of Dorothy Hamilton, their grandmother. I'm assuming discipline means corporal punishment. Then Asia reacted by allegedly grabbing a knife and slashing it back and forth toward Reginald's torso. The non-family witness on scene reportedly disarmed Asia, at which point she went to the kitchen, got another knife, and stabbed it at Rumisha, the second victim, making a downward motion to her torso to stab her, but missing. Then Asia left the residence and was intercepted by police. And the knives were 5 to 7 inches long. So they brought you in for assault family violence with a deadly weapon. Just so you know, Asia, I don't know if I wasn't there, so I'm not a witness. I'm letting you know, we had a trial here a couple of years ago where a girl probably wasn't that serious about hurting her friend, but made a downward stabbing motion in the shoulder, and the knife went through the collarbone and punctured the lung and killed her best friend. Just so you know that a lot of times there can be unintentional actions that can result in tragic results. All right, so I think I saw the name Rumisha earlier. Are you here, Ms. Mack?
Yes, sir. The family is participating from Miss Mack's phone.
Okay, I'm going to, can you unmute yourself, Ms. Mack? There you go. All right, Ms. Mack. So my question is, I guess you and Reginald are older siblings. How old are y'all? Ms. Mack? Is your microphone not working? Your video's not working?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Thank you.
Okay, I'm 21 and Reginald's 23.
All right. Who else lives there?
Actually, I don't live here. It's just Asia and my grandma. They the only two that live here. And I was spending the night over here because my grandma be taking me to work. And Reginald, he don't live here either. So he just came to check on my grandma.
Okay, so who is this boy that she was sneaking in?
His name is D. He's supposed to be her boyfriend or whatever, but he's 21 years old. He's the same age. Yeah, he's 21. So recently, like him and my brothers and my brothers and were basically telling him that, you know, she's underage, so you know you don't need to be talking to her. But they still been going with the relationship or whatever they been having going on. Me and her had got into it yesterday, so she had called my brother and was telling my brother a whole bunch of stuff, but she lied. So I came in her room, she had her door locked with a knife, because she locked her door with a knife, because her door don't lock. So when I came in the room to, you know, ask her, you know, why you calling my brother and why are you lying? He was in the room. The boy was in the room. She snuck him through the window.
Okay.
So,
so
I'm telling him, I'm like, you know, get
Let's
out.
just be absolutely real right now. I absolutely snuck a boy in my window more than once. Absolutely. So, like, that alone isn't convincing me at this point. Like I always used to say, get a better security system. Why don't you be better? So then it wouldn't be so easy to sneak in and out. Anyways. No, he was 34. Believe me, I feel for these kids because the things that I did were worse probably, but I never got caught. Anyways, I'm gonna go over the personality thing in a minute. It was hilarious to me, and you guys are gonna laugh so hard. But let's continue. Hasn't everyone snuck somebody in? Exactly. But like I said, here, the magic formula to Judge Kim, be like, oh, I set up all these alarms on every door and window. I bought drug tests off Amazon. I'm gonna chain her to the wall. That's all you really need to say. And then he's A-okay. Anyways, let's continue.
I put him out or whatever. She was so mad because, you know,
stop you for a minute. Okay, so he's 21. Did you tell Fort Worth PD that the guy was 21? Did somebody mute her? Miss Mack, you're muted again for some reason.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Did y'all tell the police that he was 21?
Yes, we told the police that he was 21, but by the time that the police came, he wasn't here no more. He was already gone.
Right. Okay.
So I made him get out, and when I made him get out, she ended up having an attitude. She was mad about it. She called the police and she called the police 2 different occasions. The first time she called the police, she just called them and told them that,
This is not a trial here. I'm just making a decision to detain her or not. All right. So here's the thing. This is frustrating. Ed, can we get a number for some, like, over at Chief Venom's division investigations and start a report on this? Yeah, 21-year-old, 16-year-old. Okay. All right, so Asia, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm not comfortable releasing you back into the community as long as you have a 21-year-old boyfriend, all right, that you're sneaking to your room at night. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and detain you for now. So, Renisha, my question for you is this boy the source of the problems? Like, is Asia fine? It's just the boy is the source of the conflict?
No, he just made things worse because he feels
All
like
right, so what are the other problems that you have?
she don't want to go to school. She disrespectful to my grandma. She run around and do whatever she want to do. She try to fight everybody. She try to she don't like no discipline. Just like if somebody try to discipline her, she want to pick up
All
knives.
right, Ms. Mack, I understand. I have a picture now. And so, Ms. Mack, I apologize for interrupting you, but I hope you realize I've been doing this for a little while. So you just, a couple sentences gives me a picture of what we're looking at, okay? So this is what I want to do, Asia, is I'm going to detain you for now. We're going to watch your behavior levels. If you show that you can behave in our facility, that opens the door to releasing you back to your grandma's home. But that's with the agreement that you're going to follow her rules. If you cannot follow our rules, then you're not going to follow her rules. Now, if you do follow our rules, get to level 1-0, we release you, and we find out from your grandma, your sister, your brother that you're disrespecting your grandma, then what happens, we just bring you back here, and we'll try it again. But next time you'll stay a little bit longer. We release you, you break the rules, we bring you back, you stay a little bit longer the next time. And we'll do it over and over again until you decide that you're just going to be a 16-year-old girl. However, if you decide that you want to act like a grown-up and have grown-up decisions, then you'll have grown-up consequences. And that's really easy to do. I just want to let you know you could be committed for this offense for up to 20 years on aggravated assault with a deadly weapon if the district attorney's office pursues a determinate sentence, grand jury approval. Okay, so you're actually in a lot bigger trouble than you think that you may have thought you were. So just, if I were you, I would make your attorney's job as easy as possible. Mr. Youngblood, I think I saw you here. Are you here, Mr. Youngblood?
I am, Your Honor. Good morning.
Okay, do you see him on your screen? The gentleman with the glasses sitting in the corner waving at you?
Yeah, I see him.
Okay, so Asia, that is your attorney. Mr. Young will be contacting you. I've known Mr. Youngblood for years. You should listen to him. He's going to give you good advice. All right?
In that regard, Your Honor, Mr. Lewis and I have discussed this, and I'd like to get your order to have her psychological exam done. I think it will help us to figure out what services she might need and try to resolve the case.
Okay, then I will go ahead and order a psychological. All right. So, Renisha, has she ever seen a psychiatrist or a psychologist for mental health? Like, has she had a diagnosis?
She was never diagnosed with anything, but she have been to several different psychologists and counselors and stuff like that.
Has she ever been prescribed medication?
They prescribed her medication. Like, let me ask my grandma what it was. I don't know what's the name of it.
Ms. Mack, do you know what the medication was supposed to do? It doesn't matter so much what the name of it is, but what was it supposed to do?
What was the medicine that they had actually taken? Like, what was it supposed to be to help her with what? You don't gotta tell them the name. Just tell them like what was it supposed to help her do?
One is the trauma down for the sleep at night.
She said one of them was a sleep aid, and then what was the other?
That was it.
Oh, okay.
That's the only one that she got.
Okay. She said it was basically a sleep aid to calm her down or something like that.
Well, I'm gonna wait to see what the psychologist says before I order a psychiatric. All right, Asia, so you know what I expect from you. Get to level 1-0 so we can start the discussion of releasing you. I will not release you if you're not a level 1-0. That doesn't mean if you're level 1-0, I will release you. It just means I won't even consider it if you're not a level 1-0. And we also need to figure out what's going on with your boyfriend. So, all right, thank you, Asia. All right, Martin Herrera.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, Mr. Youngblood. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.
He's about to get real for that guy. So, all right, Martine, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing that your attorney requested. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Ms. McGonigal, he is a level 2. So, as of this morning. So, for what purpose do we have this detention hearing?
We had court scheduled for yesterday, Your Honor, but we ultimately ended up passing that. We had asked Judge Terry for detention hearing at that time. He was a 1A yesterday, and Judge Terry did not want to do a detention hearing. So Martin has asked for a detention hearing today. Unfortunately, the level has decreased from what it was yesterday, but he is asking.
Go ahead.
So he's asking that he be allowed to go home today, though.
Yeah. So Martine, you were not even a level 1-0 yesterday, and you thought you were going to ask for a detention hearing when you're not even a level 1-0. And then you drop a level knowing that today's detention hearing is coming up. So if you think this is helping your situation or helping your case by wasting my time, then you're sorely mistaken. You know, and everyone back there knows that if you're not a level 1-0, I'm not going to consider releasing you, except with the most rare of circumstances. This is your fault. You're the one that controls your behavior level. You can either get it up or you can get it down, but that's your decision to make. So anyways, so I'm not releasing you because you're a level 2.
Judge Kim, can I say something?
Yes.
Can I say something to him, to Martin?
Briefly, yes.
Junior, I'm not gonna keep doing this with you. You know better. You're on the last thread, your last chance. You need to call me today so we could talk more, but you better get back on that level 1 today. I'm not doing this anymore. I love you, and I know you can do it. And do not get upset.
Martine, if you're gonna make grown man decisions, you have grown man consequences, right? And that's really what life is. You're making decisions that get the police involved, gets the courts involved, saying treat you like a man. But then when you come here, you're asking us to treat you like a kid. It doesn't work that way, right? We'll treat you with the respect and at the level that you are treating other people. And so, all right. Thank you, Martine.
Thank you, Judge Kim.
Tabria Heron. This was just a bad day for family violence. Looking for Tabria. Oh, hello, Tabria. I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a child's brought here, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you get to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Mr. Shaw has been appointed as your attorney. Mr. Shaw, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, hi, I'm Brad Shaw. How you doing, Tabria?
Tabria, do you see your attorney there? Red tie, gray suit? Yes? Okay. All right, so Tabria, you were previously here in 2018. You were 14 years old for an assault case, which was dismissed. In May of this year, you're brought in for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon with a knife. We let you go for some reason. 3 days later, you pick up, oh, there was a DPP for a knife, okay? 3 days after that assault, you get arrested for assault bodily injury, which probably undid your DPP. All right, so yesterday, Fort Worth police were dispatched by a warrant for you. You were found at home, escorted here without incident. Back from May, Fort Worth PD was dispatched for domestic. When police got there, they met your mom, who said that y'all were arguing over the phone charging cord when you became physically aggressive. And that you said before you became aggressive, mom had hit you in the head. Stepdad intervened. And then when he got you out of their bedroom, locked the door, you said, let me go, I'm gonna kill this bitch, about your mom. And so then you got a knife, stabbed the door, then opened the door, I'm gonna stab her. When the police got there, they said you threatened the mom, but didn't recall the words. All right, so I'm trying to figure out what's. So back early this month, Mr. Remington submitted a progress report. Mom is saying that you're frequently running away, leaving house without permission. CPS was called because you made an outcry statement. CPS investigated, and they felt like you were a flight risk and a risk for victimization. And they wanted a forensic interview. So Last time you were in detention, you had differing levels. Evidently you got in a fight with another female, but in May you got to level 1-0. Jeez. Is CPS here, by the way?
No, Your Honor, I wasn't able to reach them.
Okay. All right, so evidently you're trying to get other guys to beat up your brother, and this is just, what a mess. It's about you running away, about wanting to talk privately with Mr. Remington. Made another outcry statement. And so, all right, well, at this point, there's so many things going on. I don't know if you're a danger to yourself or the community is a danger to you. At this point, I'm just going to go ahead and detain you for your own safety, just to make sure. I want to let you know one more thing, Tabria. Since I'm detaining you, partly because you're having all these problems with your case going on, and part of it's for your safety, and part of it's because you're a flight risk. But you're also, I want to let you know, you're 17 years old. Okay. Children that are 17 years old, I can keep in our juvenile facility, or I can keep them downtown in the adult jail. It's my decision, and nobody can force me one way or another. So I'm going to let you know that for you to stay here at Kimbo, you have to behave. You have to get your behavior level up. You have to do what you're supposed to do. If you don't, then I will house you in the adult jail downtown in the general population. So it is up to you. If you get into another fight here, if you cause more problems here, you will go downtown. Right? Don't tell me. Some kids originally thought that they're going to do that because downtown was better, or I wouldn't actually do it. I will do it. Some kids also actually thought that if you go downtown, you're entitled to a bond. You're a juvenile, you're not entitled to a bond. So you would stay there in downtown until your case is resolved. And since downtown doesn't have behavior levels like we do here, there's no way for you to get to level 0, which means there's really no way for you to be released until your case is done. So it is important that you follow all the rules while you're here at Kimbo. All right? Now, Ms. Martin, look like you're raising your hand.
Yes, Your Honor. I wanted to speak to, I know you went through a lot with the case. A lot of the information is kind of confusing because that Tabria is being replenished for something that's already happened. I reached out to Mr. Remington because I wanted to clarify that when she leave the house, she don't tell me where she's going, but she always comes back. But she had an outcry to CPS, and the CPS told me.
What happens when she doesn't come back?
I call her phone repeatedly, which upsets her. She always comes back.
You're not listening to me. What happens one day when she doesn't come back?
Yes, that's a concern, but she always comes back home.
So far, but you and I understand 17-year-old girls that go out on the streets don't always come back, right?
Yes, sir. And Your Honor, Tabria has not gotten in any trouble. She was on DPP probation. She completed that probation, started working at Walmart. She didn't leave. She kept her monotone for about 2 months. She worked every day. She didn't leave. The only reason that we're here is because when the CPS lady told me that when she leave and I don't know where she at, I have to call to and report it as a runaway. To me, that's wasting the police resources because it's really not a big concern to me. She's gonna come back. I called Mr. Remington.
You want to know a secret? Just
yes,
because
sir.
CPS says something doesn't mean it's true. That's a little secret about the courts, okay? Just because they say something doesn't mean it might be true, it may not be true, but it's not always true. Okay. So
well, I feel I'm the reason my daughter back into detention because she haven't committed any new crimes. She was going to work, doing her schoolwork, and now she's sitting in detention because of me. Just so much going on and me being told different things, and I got scared because I didn't want CPS to come in and take the kids. And I called Mr. Remington asking for help, but incarceration wasn't the type of help I was asking for. So right now it's just all a big mess, but she haven't committed any crime
this
to
is
be
not,
detained.
first of all, this is not incarceration, this is detention. Okay, we use different words for kids. All right, this is not to punish her, but I will let you know, it's not that she did nothing wrong. We still have the whole thing with the knife, right? That never officially went away. There was DPP, but it wasn't closed out yet. And until it's actually closed out, it's always subject to being reopened. Okay, so it's not like it was a probation. It's a deferred prosecution. It's called a diversion program. Okay, it's a way to try and resolve cases without going through the formal court process. But if she's, but she's not supposed to be run away either. No, I mean, when she turns 18, she can do whatever she wants. But until then, you're responsible for her. I'm sure the last thing you wanted, Mom, is to show up here, right? Today.
Yeah, she called the cops yesterday. My father passed away after I spoke to Ms. Remington. My father passed away. He committed suicide. So therefore, I didn't want Tabria to go into detention after I had lost my dad. I didn't want to lose my daughter too. So right now, it's real hard for our family.
Mom, I hope you understand. My goal here is not for you to lose your daughter. My goal here is to save your daughter. That's where my heart's at. Okay. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm just following my heart and what I think I need to do to help save your daughter. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I understand what you're at, though, and honestly, if you're telling me that it's appropriate to release her, then I'm open to the idea of releasing her. I don't want to keep her here. I don't want to send her to TJJD. I think there's better things we can do, but I have to make sure that she follows your rules until she's no longer a child, right? And she has to understand that too. If she's going to do her own thing, then she ends up in TJJD. If she follows your rules, then she stays at home. It's really that simple, Tabria. It's a decision that you make, okay? All right, so thank you, everyone. Tabria, I'm keeping you here. Let's get your behavior level up. Mr. Remington will advise me on what he thinks is appropriate, and I'm pretty inclined to go with whatever Mr. Remington suggests. But that's not going to happen unless you're level 1-0, okay? All right, thank you. So Kendrick Giles.
Yes, sir. Chris Mulder here for Mr. Giles.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Giles, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, so I'm reviewing your case. Decide whether to keep you here or release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days. You do have a right to remain silent. Mr. Mulder has been hired to substitute in as your attorney. All right, so Kendrick, you're 16 years old. I just want to go over your history with you, Kendrick. 16 now. This started when you were 12 with a theft case. 2 weeks later with a runaway case. 2 weeks later, delivery of a controlled substance in a drug-free zone. Then a month later, you're brought in for theft of a firearm, which you got probation for. Then everything you did fine except like July of 18. So at this point, you're 13 years old. You had a couple of probation violations. You're still 13, and you get an evading arrest with a motor vehicle. You finally turn 14, but now you have a burglary of a habitation, which you got probation for. Then a couple of weeks later, you get arrested for assault causing bodily injury and a runaway. We get you back home, then you run away again a week later. You're still 14 when you have a warrant for you for violating probation. And the day after the warrant was issued, you get arrested for evading arrest on foot. You're still 14, but 6 weeks later, you have another probation violation, another evading arrest on foot, theft of a firearm, which you got probation for, possession of weed and evading arrest, and possession of a dangerous drug, possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1. So you have another probation violation. This is all still 14. So now, back in July, this is the one where car accident, Good Samaritan stopped to help you, put you in his truck. Then while he was checking out your car, you steal his truck, allegedly. Then you go on a high-speed chase through Grapevine into South Lake, crashed out. you're found in the back in like an RV, and they had used canine to extract you. So did we ever find out, Mr. Victor, is Mr. Vickerson here, Dana?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did we ever find out about the whole shots fired thing?
Yes, Your Honor. My understanding is that the police were in fear for their own safety when he being Kendrick, drove the pickup truck that was allegedly stolen towards one of the officers. It had stopped at some point. The officers had exited their vehicles to approach. They weren't sure if anybody was in the vehicle or not, but when they got close enough, the vehicle sort of lurched or lunged. I don't know if a vehicle can lunge, but it moved in an aggressive manner towards.
Hold on one second, Dana. All right, listen, Richmond, this is a court setting. Do not lay in bed while you're in court. That is absolutely unacceptable. In fact, you should even be sitting on your bed. You should be sitting in a chair. Like, I don't know what world you live in that you think it's appropriate to lay in bed while you're attending a court session.
Seriously, Larissa, what the fuck?
Do we know what child Richardson's here for? Is it one of the 10 days? That's only one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. All right. Sorry, Mr. Vickerson. Please proceed.
Well, I'm not sure where it was when I left off there, Your Honor, but the vehicle moved in an aggressive manner towards one of the officers. He discharged his weapon 4 times. My understanding is that the police department did engage in an investigation about the officer discharging his weapon.
All right. Well,
May I ask a question?
yeah, absolutely.
Have you seen the video of this incident?
No, sir.
I just watched it. It's a little different than what you laid out, but okay.
So, Mr. Vickerson, so he was not on probation when this all happened. His probation all expired, correct?
That's correct.
Well, we drug tested him. He's positive for weed. Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
So at this point, you know, Mr. Mulder, I mean, I understand that you're advocating for your client.
I understand. And I would say let's revisit it again in 10 days if he can stay in tip-top form in detention. Maybe you might change your mind.
Yeah, I always consider it. Certain things are just, it's a pretty bitter pill to swallow.
Sure.
So this one, the one part that really gets me is the Good Samaritan stopped to help him, and he allegedly took the Good Samaritan's car. I mean, that's the point at which point it doesn't matter how much any of us try and help him. He's willing to harm anyone that tries to help him. That's what it tells me. So anyways, yeah, so Mr. Giles, at this point I'm detaining you. You know, I'm kind of discouraged by the whole everything. But he's level 1-0 though, isn't he?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah. So I'm you know, you got to give your attorney something to work with on your case. Don't make it any harder for him than it already is. All right. Thank you, Mr. Giles. Thank you, Mr. Mulder.
Thank you. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Have a good weekend.
Very good. You too.
Michael Martinez. Sorry? All right. Mr. Martinez, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And your attorney requests this. Mr. Pearson, good to see you again. What purpose did you request this hearing?
Monday, Judge Porter suggested that if he stayed on level 1-0 through the week, to ask for another hearing on Friday. Which my understanding from yesterday was he still was on level 1-0, so we requested it I think on Wednesday, but that's why we're before the court. And I know his dad I don't think he's on board with the 10-day hearing, but I was just following through on Judge Porter's order or his suggestion.
All right, so tested positive for cocaine. There was a traffic stop. Backseat passenger looked like he's concealing something. On a search, they found a baggie with white powdery substance, which presumptive positive for cocaine. I think I remember this one. Dad, this is the first you heard of it, your son with cocaine, right?
Excuse me?
You were unaware that your son was using cocaine?
No, I'm very aware of the drugs he's using.
All right, so Dad, what's the plan? Like, where are we going with this one?
I was told that y'all are looking at psychological evaluation and placement. In a nutshell, just to keep it short, again, his mother was murdered 2.5 months ago in front of him. She died in front of him. Before then, since 11 years old, he's been running away, doing drugs, and just been on probation in different counties. We place him with family members, grandmothers, great grandmothers to try to get him help and maybe change the scenery, get him out of the environment he was at. That didn't help. Now I love my son very much. I want him home. But the thing is that he'll stay home for a good month or two. He'll attempt to do good, but in the end, he'll leave, go back to his brothers in Fort Worth, and get in trouble. And he always ends up in Kimbo or Lee Tot in Dallas, and it's drug related and theft and what have you. My biggest concern is he'll come back, do it again, and the crimes are getting bigger and bigger. I don't think he has any regard to the law in the aspect of he believes that he can go to Kimbo, and because he's a minor, y'all will let him out. And so with that notion and that preconceived notion, he believes that he's untouchable. My biggest thing is I want help for him. It don't have to be detention. It don't have to be prison, jail, or whatnot. I need for him to get help so he doesn't end up.
I'm going to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
So my question was, what's the plan? Like, do you have a plan?
I have no plan.
Yeah. Like, my bigger thing is the cocaine use. That's the part that really worries me. I mean, Mr. Pearson, you requested this detention hearing, but what's the idea? I'm hesitant to release him back into the same situation he was in where he was using cocaine.
You know, I don't know. I don't really know what to suggest in this situation. I mean, he did cooperate with I think the evaluation's been done, and
have we looked at a placement search, Mr. Aguirre?
No, Your Honor. Dr. Menchaca recommended individual therapy or family therapy.
For cocaine use?
No, more so for the loss of his mother and some other childhood experiences.
I mean, I love me some Dr. Menchaca, but I don't understand this. I mean, this kid has a hard drug problem and bigger issues. And while counseling may be important regarding grief or potential PTSD, I mean, I wish it was easy to fix cocaine with counseling, family therapy. Yeah, let's start a placement search for drug treatment, right? I think Ms. Aguirre, do you have another suggestion? Or Mr. Pearson? I'm trying to think of what other direction this can go. But if Dad is relating that this child has had a problem with cocaine for years, that I don't know what else we can. I mean, I guess we can try local, like TURC.
No.
Local placement.
If I may speak.
Yes. Has he been to TURC before?
No. But he hasn't been on cocaine for years. He's been on marijuana since he was 11. But he did dab into the cocaine and Xanax, I believe that's what Xanax.
Yeah, but allegedly he had cocaine on him when he got brought in here and tested positive, right? So, you know, it may not be years like you thought, okay? I mean, the last thing you want to do, Mr. Martinez, is lose a son, right?
Right.
And you and I both know what road this is heading down.
Exactly.
Yeah, Missy Gray, I'm okay with trying to start like a local short-term placement. You know, one I want to let you know, Michael Jr., is that this is generally the way cases like this work. Not everyone, but generally, is you have this case now, we end up some kind of probation, get you into a short-term local placement. If you can do what you're supposed to do, your life goes back to normal in a heartbeat really quickly, and you just be a kid. Okay? The problem is when you start causing problems, you're defiant, you do what you want to do instead of what you're supposed to do, then it gets painful because we bring you back in here. Then we look at a long-term placement. Then you go to like Iowa for 9 months for drug treatment. And if you get it, then you get it, and you come back home and you just live the life that you're supposed to as a kid. If you don't, then you're looking at commitment to TJJD, which you can be there until your 19th birthday. So do you understand that the one common theme is you're the one that controls what happens to you? If you do what you're supposed to do, you participate, you're respectful, your life goes back to normal. Your dad just wants his kid back, and you're being a grown-up asking to be a grown man. If you're asked to be treated like a grown man by making grown man decisions, I will treat you like a grown man and commit you to TJJD. Okay, so you need to understand that, all right? So it's all on you. I'm putting this 100% on you for you to decide, follow the rules and be a kid, or try and be a grown-up, then you have grown-up consequences, okay?
Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna start this short-term. I wanna go ahead and look to see if we can do a short-term placement for the drug use is my focus, Ms. Aguirre. Once we can get past that, I think the runaway stuff is something that can be kind of wrapped in with something else. But the drug use is my big, big concern, the cocaine specifically. All right? All right, thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Chase, thank you. Chase Varnador. All right, Chase, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a child's brought in, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you, release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. We have appointed Mr. Green as your attorney. Hello, Mr. Green.
Hello, Your
Hi, Chase.
Hello.
You were here September for an assault, bodily injury. Now you're brought in yesterday for another assault case. Saying yesterday about 11:20, police were dispatched. Over at Chase's girlfriend's house, victim said Chase was arguing with her about talking to somebody else while they were dating. They escalated to Chase. They said you punched her in the head and chest multiple times, fell to the floor. You saw no swelling to the face, but minor laceration to her back and upper right shoulder. Police said Chase was remorseful and that he should not have hit his girlfriend. So let's go back to the earlier case, the one that's pending. In September, he referred for assault, family violence, about 11:20 again. They were dispatched to a residence for domestic. Said, officer spoke to adult female, the mom who told son he should not see his girlfriend anymore. She and her other son decided to drive to girlfriend's home to speak with the mother about the relationship. There was, I guess, no answer at the home. Coming back, mother saw Chase standing in the street. She pulled up beside him, observed Chase come to the driver's side and punched mom with his right hand, hitting her in the left eye, breaking her glasses, temporarily losing her eyesight, and later stitches in her eye. So, and then you tested positive for marijuana. So you're smoking weed while you have a pending assault case and pick up another assault case. So is mom here?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Is this the same girlfriend on both incidents?
Yes, sir.
All right. So here's a simple rule, all right? And this is one of those things when I was 15, I wish somebody told me, I wish somebody told me this when I was 25 or 30. Girlfriends or boyfriends, whatever your persuasion is, are there to make you happy. If you're not happy, find another girlfriend. It's really that simple, right?
Yes, sir.
It's kind of an old saying, tongue in cheek. If you want to be unhappy, that's why you get married, right? It's a joke. But the thing is,
So close. I was like, wow, Judge Kim spitting fucking great advice here. If you're not happy, then get a new boyfriend or girlfriend to begin with and or work on it. But then he just fucking rolls it into a stupid joke, as usual. Thanks, Judge Kim.
if there's a problem with your girlfriend and not being happy, find another girlfriend, right? You're not supposed to have drama with girlfriends. When there's drama, run away, because all drama means at a girlfriend stage is there going to be more drama later on, and when you're married, there's going to be even more drama. It's a giant warning sign. I don't know why people hang on to it like they're a fish on a hook that they can't get away. All right, that being said, I'm not going to release you right now because, well,
You don't, Judge Kim? You don't know why guys hang on to crazy girls sometimes, even though they know they shouldn't? That just tells me that you haven't had very much fun.
you know, you have a pending case for assault, you pick up another assault case, and you're smoking weed, which you knew from the beginning when you smoked that Judge Kim would not be happy if you ever got found out. Okay? So at this point, I'm not committed to holding you here. I just need to figure out how to let you go and that you stay away from this girl, which is obviously a very toxic relationship. Think of the trouble that you're in right now. Okay? If this girl was not, if you had just listened to your mom back in September and got rid of the girlfriend, you and I never would have met the first time or this time. Your mom might actually know something. I know it's a crazy thought that parents know something, but she might actually be onto something. Okay? So that being said, you know what I expect from you. You know I expect you to be level 1-0 before I'll start the conversation, and then we need to figure out what's going on from there. I'm going to actually make you stay here at least until the 10-day hearing, not go early, because you know what? You were smoking weed while you had a case pending. You knew better. Okay? So let's see how it goes. I want to release you, but I'm only going to release you if you're not around the girlfriend and you're listening to mom's rules. Okay? Mom, next time he's not following your rules, all you got to do, like if you don't want him to see this girlfriend and he's seeing the girlfriend, you just call us. Who is it you call? Mr. Dotson. Very accessible man. You call Mr. Dotson and say, you know what? Chase is hanging around this girl and we don't like it. The judge needs to know about it. And Mr. Dotson comes to me and says, you know what? Chase isn't following your rule, isn't following mom's rules. We just bring him back here. It's really that easy. Like you don't have to get into the conflict about the girlfriend. You just call Mr. Dotson. That's what we're here for. Okay? And Chase, as long as you're on probation or with cases pending, I'm stuck in your life. You're stuck with me. All right? So just do the right thing. Get off this probation or out of supervision, DPP or whatever, and you and I don't have to deal with each other anymore. As long as you're listening to your mom. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Kaylee Cagle. She'll become happy to get married. You see the people laughing? I'm sorry.
Oh, Judge Kim.
Oh, this one's under 14. Right? Let's see. Yeah, the last three are under 14. Okay, so at this point, I'm turning the docket over to Judge Terry. She has some 10-day hearings. I will be back for the children. Oh, they're all mine? Oh, okay. All right, at this point, all the children going forward are under the age of 14. According to Texas Family Code 5408, court proceedings are presumed to be open to the public under the Open Courts Act. However, if a child is under 14, they're presumed to be closed unless the court makes an affirmative finding that is in the interest of the child or the public to open these proceedings to the court. So at this point, I will discontinue the live stream regarding these detention hearings since the remaining children.
I'm not discontinuing the live stream, Judge Kim. You, if you think you want to, you can, but I'm not doing it. I am going to now read some comments that were determined about me recently. Not recently, really. It was like a couple years ago. Anyways, I really love having you all here. It's very much fun. We're having a good time. I'm going to put that sign away and this one away and this one will go right here. And I'll move it like this. And then I'll also show you this cool new thing that I did. Please subscribe. You know I appreciate it. I'm just showing Judge Kim what he was missing. If he doesn't think that it's ever why guys go back to crazy. Like, Judge Kim, that's like the easiest fucking question in the book. Now, let me see what I'm looking for. Okay, so this is called an insights profile. And insights is let me see. Insights is a program or whatever where the company comes in and assesses everybody in the workplace. And they give everybody basically a glorified MBTI test, which is also, if nobody knows what that is, that's a Myers-Briggs personality test. But the other part of it is really, it's a nuanced language test. That's the reality of what those tests are, because they're really about how you interpret language and different scenarios based upon very extremely detailed, bless you, detailed, like questions. And so, firstly, when I started working at this place, I noticed everybody had Lego blocks on their desks. And I immediately fiddled with them. I thought, wow, these are cool stress release things that they've given everybody. There was green, blue, yellow, and red. And everybody had like, their different whatever, but I never noticed anything about it. So I would walk around to people's desks, and as I would talk with them, I would take their blocks and I would be fiddling with them and playing with them. Well, then somebody was like, those are in an order specific. And I was like, no, what are you talking about? And then they explained to me the system. So each color is similar to the letters that the MBTI would give you. And so I was like, oh, but this is like administered by, and I looked it up and I realized, oh, this is like expensive. Somebody's going to spend money to do this for me. So I took the test and I have the results of the test. And it's funny because the test assesses things like it claims to be able to say like, oh, you change your personality on purpose this much in these different areas. So for example, like there's the 4 colors. They don't do letters. They just do colors. And basically what they do is in your office, the whole point of the system is that when you walk up to somebody's desk, their Lego blocks are put together and you're immediately able to look and say, oh, this person's green first. I can interact with that green leading person differently than I would with a blue or a yellow or a red leading person. Now, I think that's great because if it works for people, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I thought it was very sort of fun. But when I took the test, my profile came out virtually stacked. They give you 2 numbers. They give you like your work number and then your like real personality, like, and you're usually changing them. And mine were just stacked right on top of each other, the same one. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty much the same all the time. Not really different. Any questions? But and I was red on top, anyways. Now, what was interesting was that there was this guy in our department who had just started, and I was like, I was I was like, let's bet on what colors he gets, and of course everybody was like, making their assessments based on what they've gotten for their result, like what their knowledge of the letters are, or numbers, or colors. And so when he came out of the test and his results were way different than any of us had guessed, I was like, huh, does this not work? Did he game the system? Like, I was confused. He was like a more timid guy. He was not into like confrontation. So for him to be like red dominant on top, it was really odd. Anyways, I remember then I went and spoke with him. It turns out that he grew up in Korea, South Korea, until he was like 13 or 14. Now, he spoke perfect English. He was you couldn't hear any accent or whatever. But Korean as a language is very different than English. It's not nuanced. It is literally the sort of separate, like there's very distinct things. And so it makes a lot of sense that if he went into a nuanced language test where he's reading things, he would come out being very decisive, as opposed to what he's actually like in the workplace, because he's not interpreting the test the same way as a native English speaker would. And so it really wasn't valuable for him, because that isn't what his personality was like. That's just what his language interpretation method was like. And that's why those tests are really nuanced language tests. However, what they do give is some like advice for you or for your manager. They'll be like, oh, treat Kitchen like this, or make sure that you give Kitchen lots of this and that. And so I have, let me just try and find it. I'm trying to find it. Give me a moment. Because they said something really funny, which sort of made sense to me. And I was like, oh yeah, that tracks. That tracks really quite well. Let's see here. So the colors, what the colors mean. Oh, well, so I'm going to be honest as well. Because I know that this is also a corporate tool, I automatically knew that there was going to be some questions in there that are like immediate red flags. So before I did the test, I did some research into the test to check out what are the like red flag questions. I didn't change my personality, but there were like 3 questions where they were just like, do not hire if this question is this. And I was like, not. Thank you for giving me that. And my theory is, if you didn't want me to be able to know that and see that on the internet, then you should have done a better job of hiding that information, because I didn't do anything shady to get it. And that's really just research. And I think that that is smart. So on my personality, so I'm trying to log in. I have about 52,000 accounts on different things. But, oh, maybe it's on my phone. It is. I bet it is. I bet it is. I bet. Let's see. Okay. Nope. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, yes, it's right here. Perfect. Because some of these are funny. So already, first of all, I've taken my MBTI test before, and I was an ENTP. So in case anybody knows what that refers to, that's what I am. So it says this insights discovery profile is based on what KCC's responses to the insight profile evaluator was in 2019. The origins of personality theory can be traced back to the 5th century BC, when Hippocrates identified 4 distinct energies exhibited by different people. The insight system is built around the model of personality first identified by the Swiss psychologist Carl Gustav Jung. This model was published in his 1921 work, Psychological Types, and developed in subsequent writings. Jung's work on personality and preference has since been adopted as the seminal work in understanding personality and has been the subject of study for thousands of researchers to the present day. Using Jung's typology, this insights discovery profile offers a framework for self-understanding and development. Research suggests that a good understanding of self both strength and weaknesses enables individuals to develop effective strategies for interaction and can help them to better respond to the demands of their environment. Generated from several 100,000 permeations of statements, this profile is unique. It reports statements which your evaluator responses indicate may apply to you. Use this profile proactively. That is, identify key areas in which you can develop and take action. Share the important aspects with friends, you guys, and colleagues, and ask for feedback from them on areas which seem particularly relevant for you, and develop an action plan for growth personally and interpersonally. These statements provide a broad understanding of my work style. Exhibiting boundless energy and the ability to perform a number of roles simultaneously, KCC can develop a level of result expectation that others may find daunting. Her need to be of service to others can occasionally prevent her from relaxing. She prefers to be direct, results-oriented, and thorough, whilst not always taking the time to give real consideration to others. She prefers to combine creative decision-making with limited reflection and enjoys work that involves moving projects forward. Dominance and independence characterize her behavior. She feels more secure when she can control a situation by ensuring other people conform to her thinking. She is a natural manager and finds herself in command through her ability to plan and keep both long and short-term objectives clearly in mind. She sees the possibilities in most situations and can direct others towards making a vision become reality. She's a good organizer and seeks to control the world around her. She can be good at easing tense situations by getting conflicting parties together to take the sting from the issue. She enjoys getting things done, sometimes at the expense of others. Gifted with clarity of thought and articulation, she's an excellent communicator and presenter. She's a direct, results-oriented person who considers people within the framework of her objectives. She needs excitement and variety, or she may lose interest in carrying projects through to completion. Now, this is literally 30 pages, and I'm not gonna read it all to you because you'll have to request that video separately. But one of the things they wrote, oh, I like this part. My possible blind spots. Sorry, Cachette. I'm done, actually. One of the things they said was give all the people that are around me flak jackets to protect them because I'm too mean. So I'm sorry, y'all. I'm too mean for you, if I am. But in fact, I just really like to talk with everybody and have a good time. I hope you all enjoyed our detention dockets for this evening. We have some real funs coming up. Lovely Rose has sent me a request of a Judge Kim video that's not a detention docket, but a different one. And I am definitely going to be doing that probably this week. Yeah, I think you guys are so great. Honestly, very much love y'all. And I love hanging out and watching court because this is this is literally what I do all the time. I'm mean as well, but I'm true. And I'll always help people. That's the other thing. Like, I might be mean, but if anybody comes to me and was like, I need help doing this or I need to figure this out, well, let's figure it out. Fuck. Like, I'm pretty good at figuring out situations. So, anyways, birds don't have feelings. Kittens do, and I'm a kitten. But yeah, you can always joke here. I never take it seriously. Sometimes if you mean to be serious, you better say it really obviously because I will not catch that. That's part of my life. Anyways, I really enjoyed having you all here. If some of you haven't subscribed, I don't understand why. If you've been here this long, you must love something about me. Even if it's that I'm going to make cookies tomorrow. So yeah, I honestly had a blast hanging out with you guys this evening. I am going to be on every night this week and probably during the daytime too. I'm going to work on doing that as well. Don't want to jump on anybody's toes, obviously, because there are some obviously like the OGs. Like I just watch Mikey over and Credence and Mikey all the time. Anyways, you guys, I love y'all. I'm gonna get going. I hope you have a wonderful evening. We might have a 1,000 subscriber party on our hands this week if we get to thinking and making that happen. Just so y'all know. I know you don't have to refer these to your friends and family because I know all of our friends and family is done with court. None of them wants to talk about it. But if you have multiple accounts, remember to sub with both. Okay. I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming to the kitchen, for having a great evening, and I hope you all are well. Send good thoughts to everybody here. Good karma everywhere, and we will talk to you tomorrow, okay? Have sweet dreams. Night. Bye.